What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? It is I, of course, the renegade of wrestling, J.J. Williams, here in spirit, as it were, because I've got to put in the hours. I got called into work today. Priorities over passions, as our good host always likes to say, but I could not let episode 150 of Simply Predicting go by and not make an appearance, not be here to congratulate the simple man with the spectacular voice, Noah Foster, on this milestone achievement. Congratulations, bro. Have a good double feature tonight as we discuss Crown Jewel and Bound for Glory. Noah Foster, take it away.
What started with Evolution 2018 has evolved 2025, 7 years later, into a constant love for discussing and predicting, simply put, all things wrestling. As indeed, I bring you a double feature tonight where we will find out who is the crown jewel of WWE and who truly in TNA is bound for glory, as this is episode 150 of what has become Simply Predicting. Welcome to this special double feature discussion and thanking everybody that has been involved in this revolution and evolution of wrestling predictions that has always been televised across the internet. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get right freaking into it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back here once again to another edition of Simply Predicting. This is a special double feature, as we talked about before, and of course, I am the host. I am the simple man of the simple brand, the voice of SRS, forever grateful for all-face professional wrestling. Damn it. And my name is Noah Foster. First and foremost, thank everybody that's joined me on this fun little journey, whether on video or in the prediction leagues, of course, that are predicted in some form of facet of professional wrestling, whether it's New Japan, whether it was AEW, whether it was WWE, ROH, TNA, whether right now, of course, it is NXT that's become its own thing as far as leagues go, or anything that I pretty much predicted on that I could think of over the years. So thank you all so much that's been along for this 7-year ride. It's been a hell of a time, and it's not letting up anytime soon. Again, you know what you have to do. In case you don't know, I host prediction leagues. So stay tuned for the forums. They will be available, of course, once these streams conclude in the comment section on my social media feeds, of course, as well. And if you want to dictate the conversation, super chat or PayPal the patch to support my friends. It is truly as simple as that. Let's go ahead and look at tonight's simple panel and get into the discussions. First and foremost, it's always a pleasure having one half of the VIPs of most of my predictions leagues, and honestly, most of the lately Simply Predicting. What happened to Dominguez? Emmanuel Dominguez has joined me tonight for another edition of Simply Predicting. Emmanuel, good to see you. How are you feeling about WWE Crown Jewel or TNA Bound for Glory?
I think TNA Bound for Glory is. I have more hype for it than WWE Crown Jewel, to be honest. And that's a good thing for TNA. I mean, who would have thought me saying like a year from ago, me saying that I'm hype more hype for a TNA pay-per-view than a WWE pay-per-view. I must be dreaming. But it's what it is. Like a WWE is a mediocre storyline. They just floating by without care, without people getting pissed off, saying the product is stale and everything like that. They're finally gonna hopefully do something about it, but who knows if they're gonna listen or not? Because they listen to the fans. So it is what it is.
Fair enough, but again, it just goes back to that outlook that I've been developing since I started this. At the end of the day, just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling, and there's truly more than one brand, and you don't need to fall down and get back up like tub flopping to figure that out. So thank you for that, Emmanuel. Appreciate you, and I love that outlook. And of course, following that, it's always a pleasure having the latest friend and family member to the Survivor Studios family as a personality, particularly on Simply Predicting. Good to have here once again, Charles Schultz. Charles, good to see you, Avatar Man. Again, double feature. You've been part of Simply Predicting for the later haul here. You've been having a lot of fun. I've absolutely enjoyed you having as a panelist. So, how you feel about this double feature show that's going to feature WWE Crown Jewel and TNA Bound for Glory this coming weekend?
Oh, we're gonna have some fun tonight. And I'm not going to try to rickroll anybody like I did Walter that one time.
About to say, Walter is not here. And again, just to give a shout out to some people that have been involved in its development over the years, from Sienna Chanel to Zero to James Gebert to Walter Cruz to Mark Griffith, Jeff Chadwick, Christopher Ross, my Horseman's predictions, Jeff Meacham, JJ Williams, Patilla, everybody that's been involved here, at least on one episode. You've all made this possible. So again, I truly thank you all so much during the history of Sleepy Dating. Of course, talking about Birdman, Owen Finch, and Chris Dodd, Casey Gallagher. There have been so many unique personalities that have joined me on this escapade of predictions. That's been absolutely wonderful. The ladies of WrestleMania predictions panel discussion, that was fun with, of course, Stat Boy and Stat Girl. Shout out to Mikey, by the way. Stat Boy approved. I hope he's having great fun calling Monday Night Football. Of course, CC. So again, to everybody that's been involved here, hell, even Natalie, I think at one point was even on here at one time. Thank you all again. But yeah, you know me, I'm TNA faithful. Again, not my NXT. And as far as WWE, it's whatever. I don't justify it being worth $30, especially, but there is some good stuff, and I'm not going to deny that John Cena, for the last time, John Cena and AJ, they had a clinic, and there might be more that actually comes out of freaking Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins, despite the fact they're competing over a Timu Super Bowl ring. But I think without further ado, as we look towards Bound for Glory, we hope that the TNA World Championship are brought back home. Simply predicted community, panelists, enthusiasts, whether you're watching live or on demand, whether you're a TNA faithful, whether you're a WWE fan, let's go ahead and get right into it. So again, this is a special double feature episode of City Predictions. We are discussing both Crown Jewel and TNA Bound for Glory. By the way, shout out to the chat that's always been part of it as well, including to Nathan Banks, Matt Helms, Darren G, everybody that's been involved. Speaking of which, say his name when he appears. Matt, doing very well. Thank you for tuning in once again. Appreciate your support. As always. Again, there's so many other names I could say here, but we'd be here all night long. And I'm trying to Tony Khan this thing down to 90 minutes, especially with only two of you here. So maybe I won't have to deal with too much madness. But yes, this is a special.
You always jinx it, Noah.
I know. I've been doing it for 150 episodes. Here's to another 150 of you guys driving me completely up a fucking wall. Cheers to you. Also, sometimes, fuck you. Anyway, here's to, again, Sleepy Dating double feature. We're discussing WWE Crown Jewel and TNA Bound for Glory. Both shows will be back-to-back this coming weekend on Saturday and Sunday. You'll be able to watch Crown Jewel on ESPN. And, of course, TNA Bound for Glory is exclusively on the TNA Plus service. We're going to kick things off discussing WWE Crown Jewel. And WWE Crown Jewel takes place this year from Perth, Australia, down under, in the only place that's also a freaking, not only continent, but a country. Australia. Perth, Australia, of course, plays host to the second ever WWE Crown Jewel regarding the Timu Super Bowl ring, battle of brand supremacy, and championship supreme glory, whatever you want to call it. And keep in mind, set your clocks accordingly. We are in Australia. This show starts, get this, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time live. Pacific Coast, 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Good luck to you. So plan your times accordingly. I do believe we will be calling the show live because, again, I'm a glutton for punishment. But because I'm a New Japan fan, the time doesn't necessarily bother me. So without further ado, we have 5 matches on tap because WWE sucks. They only have 3 graphics. And honestly, I think these 3 matches matter the most. So we're going to save those 3 matches last and talk about the undercard, in my opinion. And why I don't call him an underdog, I call him the top dog. Acknowledge him. We're going to kick things off talking about the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, taking on Bronson Reed. And this time, it's an Australian street fight. So, let's go ahead and talk about this. This match was made official, of course, this past Monday on Monday Night Raw as Roman Reigns came back. And once again, Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns can't seem to get enough of beating the crap out of each other. Roman Reigns, of course, recently came back after being Bronson Reed back at Clash in Paris. And, of course, was obliterated by Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker after the fact. So now we got an Australian street fight where if they want to go crazy and then Braun Breaker wants to try and spear them out of nowhere, he very well might do it. It's also become a bit of a family affair as the Usos have been involved lately, particularly Jimmy and Jay. But Jay, following Roman's advice more so, does make Jimmy wonder if Jay is trying to be more like the Tribal Chief. And again, Roman talks about how he hears and sees everything. What's wrong with taking advice from me? I think there's more to this than meets the eye besides the two people we're going to see fight. So, Roman Reigns, Bronson Reed, 2. A stunning street fight. If there's not Vegemite, a didgeridoo, a eucalyptus tree, or a stuffed koala in play, I'm going to be disappointed. Or a boomerang, because why would you call it a stranded street fight if you don't involve those weapons? Or a cricket bat. I think cricket's big also down there. I don't know. Let's go ahead and get y'all's predictions towards this. Manuel, Roman Reigns, Bronson Reed. Is the result going to be the same? Is the aftermath going to be the same? Do you see things playing out differently here? Could it be a tease to lead into War Games, which of course you, Dattila, and others are going to take part in live in San Diego, California, next month? What do you think?
Well, I think this is the time where Bronson Reed with WWE logic 50-50 booking, because it's a street fight. You know, Braun Breaker is going to try to help his fellow man and try to help him to win. But if Roman Reigns wins, it's like, what are you doing? Like it's like, does he really need a run against Bronson Reed again in another PLE again? Like, this is the reason why people complain about the last pay-per-view being a glorified Raw. This match seems like a glorified Raw match, like a street fight. Like, we see this in Raw now, like, more often than lately. Like, I'm not sure if Triple H are creative or in the rut that they think, ooh, candlesticks, ooh, trash cans, like, and ooh, table spot, like, and it's like, I don't know, like, it is what it is, but I think it's Bronson Reed is gonna get this W back from the last time, and that's how you build War Games, in my opinion.
All right, fair enough. Give the the opposition division advantage over the Bloodline that's been involved in more war games than I can count. The original Bloodline, by the way, not Timu Bloodline, not Bloodline 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, etc. Okay, well, that being said, he's got 50-50 booking. Opening ballot is Bronson Reed. For those that don't know, I do sleep predicting by this. Usually when a card is heavy, like AEW levels heavy, and I have multiple people on the screen, one person sets the ballot, then we see if people agree or disagree. Since this is a very simple card, I'll give WWE credit's due. They're giving us only 5 matches here. Everyone will get their thoughts towards everything on this card, and we might do the same for TNA Brown for Glory since we have less people on the screen. Charles, Emmanuel makes a very valid point. How many times have we seen 50-50 booking in WWE? Not to mention, we just saw at WrestlePalooza, of course, LA Knight special guest referee, the Usos did lose, of course, to Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. As a tag team division, have been anything but dominant. But as a group, they've been very destructive and effective. In a street fight, anything goes. All bets are off. We know Seth and Rollins are going to focus, of course, on the Super Bowl ring pursuit, as well as beating the one person he hasn't been since he's returned home. But it wouldn't rule me out if Braun Breaker comes into play and tries to spear him, or if Jimmy or Jay also comes into play. So what do you think?
I was even questioning why this match is even happening to begin with. Because I thought Roman was not going to be around until after this event.
That would make more sense, you would think.
Yeah, but nope. Here we are. Roman's back. Before. And then literally, oh, you're facing Bronson Reed again. It's like, we just did this back in Clash in Paris. Why are we doing this again? Exactly. And I agree with Manuel's point. Bronson Reed's got to win this. Because now this show is going to play heavily into War Games. Has to be with 2 matches in particular on this show. This one and obviously the Seth match. It's like, got something happen on this. So Bronson Reed's got to win.
All right, fair enough. Look, we gotta just put it out there. We're talking about a singles match with Roman Reigns. When was the last time Roman Reigns was beaten in singles action? I understand y'all's point, but it's Roman Reigns. And why he's been relegated as why he's not pursuing a championship, why he's not the main event, why he's the curtain jerker. This might will be the opener. I would be shocked if this is cool down. because Roman does not play middle of the fence. He's opener or closer. He has nothing less or above that, period. It's one of those things also in WWE, you don't bet against maybe a hat trick of people or two people particularly. One's a woman, one's a man. It's been the story of WWE since freaking 9 years. I can't bet against Roman Reigns. Bronson Reed is not above Roman Reigns, and he never will be. I understand the vulnerability point that you're talking about, but we've already seen that and done that. It's one of those things also where I do think now being a family affair, the family might stand tall. It's been one of those things where we kind of like flip the coin between Roman and family and division. SummerSlam, who won? Roman and family. Clash of Paris, who won? Roman in singles. Got obliterated though. It's the aftermath that is the takeaway fact. I'm going with Roman Reigns here because I just can't see Roman Reigns being bludgeoned enough where Bronson Reed is considered the winner, considering in Australia, State fight, the only way to win is via pinfall. And I imagine it's got to be inside the ring. I got to go with Roman Reigns here. Amanda, I do see your hand.
Yeah, the last one that of course we know there was with Cody Rhodes, but no stipulations or anything like that. They're in Corbin.
So there you go. There's a name we completely forgot about. No wonder it wasn't relevant. Yeah, and where did Baron Corbin go after that? Just saying. All right, but again, I like the fact that we are partisan, and at this point, whether or not I win the Dirty Predictions League, our own fearless Bella, Caitlin Bella, right now is holding it down for the team. While, of course, the Galaxy, as I scroll off you saw, of course, the most recent 30 on the social medias and on NoDQ social media. Saying that NoDQ, by the way, shout out to Bossman Aaron Riff. Of course, he just got his predictions panels done. And yes, there is a bonus point, like I said. Before we continue, by the way, here are the leaderboards for you as Caitlin Bella currently leads. It looks like Wilson from Home Improvement. Hello, folks. With 68 points. I'm behind her by 3 points, followed by Papagino, who's behind her by 4 points, behind me by 1. So, as opposed to this being the second to last show of this year's league, anything is very possible, but I'm not considering a very dynamic pool here of predictions with this show that probably will be a little bit more than a C grade, considering the caliber of the two matches, despite the fact they're for a Temu Super Bowl ring. But kudos to Caitlin Bella holding it down. And as far as the Galaxy, my own horseman prediction, Mark Griffin, he's holding it down in first place alongside Richard Morales at 65 points, while Ashley is right behind them with 64, but the very other people are also close, including Adrian, Ian, and I hope that the Anna's McLean had a great happy birthday. Of course, the inaugural winner of the NoDQ Galaxy Predictions League. So keep the predictions going, folks. Of course, this is again the second to last show. There's only one more show to this before this year's league close. And speaking of closing, of course, me and Papagino will be with predictions post-mortem this coming Wednesday, 6 p.m. Standard Time for WWE Crown Jewel. Please join us there if you haven't already. Support Papagino today on, of course, his YouTube channel. Congrats on hitting 800 subscribers. But yeah, Bronson Reed, I can't go against Roman Reigns in singles, even in a gimmick match. I'm going with Roman Reigns. All right, well, good stuff. Nice and simply done. Now let's go ahead and see how WWE tries to get a Crunchyroll endorsement, shall we? Because not since Stardom have I seen this much of a Japanese woman crying campaign in WWE. I don't think I've ever seen Japanese women cry in WWE, honestly. But here we are. We have the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane taking on Io Sky and Mommy Rhea Ripley. Also, of course, people are talking about how the Rio or whatever their team name is forever. Of course, we saw a fallout and the tensions being built ever since Io Sky lost the Women's World Championship at WrestlePalooza when Asuka says, "Let us help you," but Io wanted to do it on her own. And Asuka's like, okay. And you got to consider at one point, Io Sky long ago says damage control needs to change. Who knew the change, though, would be more Io Sky becoming the breakout star and Asuka going full-fledged freaking Yakuza heel on her with the freaking miss and being the venom in her existence. As we, of course, saw, Mommy Rhea Ripley has no problem with Io Sky. Tremendous respect for her, despite the fact she's never beat her one-on-one. But Rio does have a problem with her former family now, the Kabuki Warriors, who have tossed Io to the side after missing her in the face. While Kairi Sane, hurt, heartbroken, torn, we could still be a family. Of course, right now it's underneath Asuka's own manipulation. Whether or not she turns on her, that's beyond the conversation. So we got a tag team match because Mommy Rhea Ripley has to be involved. We're down under in Perth, Australia. Just saying. And we got Io Sky and Rhea Ripley teaming for the first time ever, I believe, against the Kabuki Warriors. Could this lead to an impromptu WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match down the line regarding one of these teams or both of these teams? Are we done with the Kabuki Warriors after this? Are we building into something bigger? Maybe Asuka versus Io Sky for the first time? That's just some of the things that you all need to consider. Let's go to Charles Schultz first regarding his prediction with this tag team match. Please. Charles, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky versus Kabuki Warriors, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. We, of course, saw Kairi Sane and Io Sky most recently on Monday Night Raw. And thanks to Asuka's involvement, Kairi Sane did get the better of Io Sky. So that's also something else to think about. And so, what do you think about this tag match? Who you got?
Oh, that's about to be most probably somewhat the easiest. Rhea and Io. I do not expect Rhea to come into her home country to lose. No chance.
No chance in hell.
Yeah, but I expect this feud to continue anyway. Host this show regardless.
Well, Lord knows we don't have a women's War Games identity yet, and very well, Lord knows people want to see Io Sky drop like a bomb on Nagasaki with a trash can on her head off the steel cage, and she's done it now every time she's been involved in the match. So
Yeah, literally, we can easily figure out the men's one better this year compared to the women because we don't got anything set up with the women at this point. It makes sense.
Right?
Besides the men, men's easy.
But yeah, but to be fair, the women has always been like, here's a bunch of people. Okay.
That's true.
And who's been at the forefront of most of those? Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. So again, just saying. All right, fair enough. That being said, we got Rhea Ripley and Io Sky winning this tag team match. Emmanuel, do you agree? It almost feels like Asuka, for the first time in her illustrious career, has gone full-fledged heel. But will she stand on her own? Is her family completely done and done? Will Kairi Sane turn on her? Can we get more teases of those cracks potentially here? And by the way, this is not Crunchyroll anime worthy, in my opinion. Nice try, WWE. You're not Stardom. You never will be. But what do you think about this tag team match? Do you agree with Charles?
Yes, I do, but I gotta entertain the idea of the Kabuki Wars winning type of scenario because I think we're all gonna agree with this outcome. Maybe you surprised me, Noah, but who knows? But I gotta say, the Kabuki Wars for the ha-has, because let's face it, like the Kabuki Wars need this win, because if they don't, like, then what's the point of Rhea and Kairi? And the whole breakup, and like, it doesn't make sense. You need to make them strong, like, because if Io can't easily defeats her family, who knows every weakness he has, how is the Kabuki Warriors a legit tag team lose in this situation? Because Rhea's been questioning, like, Io, can I trust you? Is your heart in there? And that might be enough for them to get the win. Because Rhea's like, what happened, Io? You had the win. You had Asuka to win, and you didn't pull the trigger. And that's the only way I could see the Kabuki Warriors to win. That way, you have the Kabuki Warriors and three other women versus Io and Rhea with three ladies in War Games, because that's what I would love to see. But who knows? But because it's Perth, it's Rhea's hometown. It's set up. That's why my heart's leaning for Rhea and Io winning. But my brain's saying no. They had to book Kabuki Wars strong, because if not, Kabuki Wars are done. I don't know why they will feud more longer than this, because they proved their point. They won. Io doesn't need her family, because basically her friend Rhea helped her win over her family. So it's like there's more story to be in the meat. It just got cut to the chase. So hopefully my brain's right, but my heart goes Io and Mommy.
Well, you do bring up a valid point considering Io Sky was given a picture while she was being checked after being misted by Kairi Sane of their family. Whether or not she still has that with her, she did tell Rhea that it's me and you versus Kabuki Warriors, and I am ready. And of course, Rhea Ripley has no ill will towards Io Sky. Feels sorry for her, honestly. But I do think there is more to come out with Rhea and Io together then as singles going after the championship for the time being, since people wanted to get Rhea Ripley, mommy, away from the title for the time. So it is one of those things where I do think that this feud is not going to be over, and it doesn't end until we see Kairi Sane turn on Asuka, and Asuka is completely on her own, and she will curse in Japanese once that happens. And I don't think it happens come Saturday. But yeah, because the fact that again, WWE also booking. If one side goes in with the momentum, they're going to lose. The villains right now have the momentum, and it's going to be psychological warfare on Io Sky. No doubt about that. I got to go with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky here as well. There's just no way they can win, especially first time together as a tag team. You will literally end this thing before it freaking started. They might as well go their separate ways like the Journey song if they lose here, and neither one of them are involved in WWE affairs for a period of time. Now, truth be told, Io Sky is going to go take on Mayu Iwatani and Marigold. Yay. But Rhea Ripley, what's she doing? What's next? What's she doing? I'm just saying. So, yeah, I got to go with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky here. I do see your hand. What you got to say real quick?
Just say real quick, no, like the moment of this feud is when Kairi finally walks out on Asuka, and Asuka's screaming, Kairi! Kairi!
Shout out to the guy that made that sign, by the way. Sign of the night. I hope that Montserrat, my friend, had a great time at Monday Night Raw, by the way, this past Monday. But yeah, I'm expecting a lot of Kairi during this match from Asuka, as Asuka clearly is manipulating Kairi Sane to her own selfish benefit and selfish demeanor. This match will not be brought to you by Yakuza, by the way, and it better not be, because in my opinion, Sega should not become a WWE property. All right.
Thank you, Noah, for saying that, because I was going to say that if you didn't.
I'm about to say, look, Ubisoft is corrupt. They can go work with them. What? I didn't say that out loud.
Nope. Nope. We're not getting into this conversation. Let's move on now. Let's move on now.
I didn't say anything. What are you talking about? I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. What? You didn't see me say anything. Speaking of seeing things, you are going to see your favorite WWE superstar wrestle the phenomenal AJ Styles for the last time. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Now, this is actually a graphic worth showing. John Cena and the phenomenal AJ Styles, as we keep moving forward, for the final time. Back in 2016, these men ruled the brand split of WWE SmackDown. Recognize or beat up John Cena, AJ Styles' favorite activity. Of course, AJ Styles got the better of the 16-time world champion at Money in the Bank, thanks to, of course, the club, of course, Luke Giles and Carl Anderson. But following that, John Cena tested AJ Styles' merit as a man. And next thing you know, with Marmanell on commentary, one of the best calls ever, John Cena got upset by AJ Styles again at SummerSlam. You fast forward the clock to 2017, where they had a pure in-ring clinic for the WWE Championship. And John Cena got the better of Phenomenal One that night. 8 years later, and with only 3 dates left, John Cena takes on AJ Styles for the final time. And AJ says he is going to give his all here to beat up John Cena and beat him once and for all. This is going to be incredible, and this is the number one match I am looking forward to. So let's go ahead and look at this. AJ Styles, again, we talk about John Cena for the final time. AJ Styles already confirmed next year he's pretty much done. He's not resigning, and he's not going to continue. He's finally going to lay up the boots and be done with his in-ring career. Cannot blame him for how long he's been involved here, 25 plus years. Thank you to the Phenomenal One. John Cena, of course, as I talked about before, it's the last time in Perth, Australia, and it's the final date. He only has, I believe, 3 dates left. Madison Square Garden, San Diego, California, Survivor Series. And, of course, his final match will take place on Saturday night's main event in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Of course, we saw his last match against the Maverick Logan Paul. As much as I hate to say it, that was one of the best matches he's had this year, and one of Logan Paul's best matches in his young WWE career, pulling out all the stops, including not limited to Adam Copeland's spear. So what sort of nostalgia throwbacks, whether it's a Bullet Club or whether it's WWE superstars, can we get out of here where both men push each other to the point they have to out-wrestle one another and maybe out-history one another? Let's go ahead and kick things off with Charles here because I said so. Charles, this is going to be a phenomenal match, pun intended. But do you see AJ Styles getting the best of John Cena in their final encounter, or does John Cena do it again and keep the score basically at, I would say, 2-2? Considering right now it is 1-2 in favor of AJ Styles, their fourth ever singles match here.
One, I gotta correct you. This is not 3 days left because Cena is also booked for the Boston show in November. At Raw.
Okay. I forgot about that. That's right.
So he's booked for 2 Raws and then Survivor Series, and then pretty much Saturday's main event. He's done.
Gotcha.
So we still got a lot more of Cena between now and at least.
Okay,
but as far as this match goes, this is gonna be the best match on during his run now because he's going against AJ. And that speaks for itself. As far as who wins, considering by the time next year these two are done for not going to be around anymore. Whew. Consider Cena lost back at WrestlePalooza, Cena's going to win this. It's only fair.
You think 50-50 booking for John Cena is justified after he got obliterated by Brock Lesnar again?
And considering that's never going to be followed up on, so bye.
Well, I mean, they say never, but again, like you said, the clock is ticking.
They stick to the word of one last time, so.
Yeah, it looked like Brock Lesnar literally threw away the the UFC goes. He's like, I'm done with this boy. Now, whether or not he's done here overall, stay tuned, folks. We'll talk more about that and what more likely will be the main event. All right, fair enough. So you do have John Cena beating AJ Styles again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Regardless, the match is going to be good anyway, so I think that's what matters at the end of the day. Cena and AJ.
Yeah, I'm about to say, with these two, I mean, just, again, fight forever. Again, we saw how far they went. I'm going to go rewatch their match at SummerSlam and the Royal Rumble just to prepare me for this, because I do wonder, how do you surpass the pilot, the original? How do you renew that magic? And can they still do that? Just saying. Emmanuel thinks not. So I guess we'll find out here. So, hi, Emmanuel. Now, don't worry. Jeff Meacham, Datilla, Arlene Dominguez is not here to beat you up with a shakla. So you're absolutely safe to say whatever the hell you wish, honestly, about this match and your prediction. So, that being said, he picked John Cena. What about you?
Yeah, Cena's going to win this.
Oh,
I feel bad for AJ. I feel sorry for AJ Styles. And he did his best to promote this match, but it's
she's listening.
Yeah,
hello, Arlene. Appreciate you.
She's listening, but she's gonna attack me in the morning. she's gonna go around. So
we'll see Emmanuel in the chat now. We know why.
Yeah. Anyways, like that's the more interesting match in San Diego and Survivor Series. Jeff, with Attila, Arlene, Mrs. Me, 3-on-1. Anyways, this is more interesting match than this match. That's why I'm not even talking about it. But I have to say this. Like a lot of people have been complaining about John Cena's final run. That it's been bad. It's been stupid. Like it's the waste of a farewell tour. Guess who made his schedule? Who signed this contract? John Cena. So if you gotta blame anybody, blame John Cena for not giving the whole year to WWE. This is why Cena's run felt so flat. Like it's falling face hard and face like on the concrete really hard. Like and you'd be like, you okay? You are you fine? It's that bad. Like I just be honest. Like if John Cena was gonna say it's for her, we should just saw sign the whole year. We could have got a lot more matches that we did not see because we've been seeing. Yeah, we could have seen Carmelo versus Cena. We could have seen Martet Ford versus Cena. We could have seen Joe Henry versus Cena. We could have seen so much.
Damn it, he said his fucking name.
His name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
You couldn't help yourself.
But it's been talked. That's why I mentioned.
Fair enough.
So it's one of those things like who do you blame? WWE? Don't blame WWE. Blame Cena. We could have made this this final year going turret to turret and made WWE lots of money. How many people would have gone to Raw and SmackDown and like in pay-per-views if he was if he stick to it? But no, like once Cena died down, people stopped going to Raw. People stopped going to SmackDown because they weren't going to see their favorite hero John Cena anymore. That's why it's been bad. And I'm not sure what it's Cody Rhodes is not the answer. It has they really need to think this out because once Cena's out, I'm not sure how many people are going to stick seeing WWE. To be honest, it's one of those things that you need to start. They need to start thinking who's going to be their next Johnson. It's not going to be Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns is already a part-time. That's what it is. So someone has to be holding the throne for long and be there consistent. And Cody Rhodes is not the answer. Because right now, he's really dragging the narrative down, and it's not his fault. It's just like we're done. It's time for his character to evolve.
Fair enough. But that being said, with the outlook of who's the next guy that can show ruthless aggression and be the next, torchbearer, leader, babyface, full-time, young particularly, of the WWE. But either way, he does say, like Arlene in the chat, good to see Arlene Dominguez in the chat. Appreciate again the Dominguez is, as always, again, folks, follow Dominguez. Appreciate you, Arlene. Good luck in all your educational endeavors. I'll see you soon, I'm sure, on City Predicting once again. She also says John Cena. And that being said, it is unanimous. I do agree with you all about, as far as this match goes, that John Cena does deserve to win. And I do think it's going to be a respectable bout. And I think it'll be pretty cool to have John Cena and AJ respect each other after the match. A handshake, a subtle embrace. And I don't think AJ needs to go like midlife crisis, bully on him after the fact either, because you don't need to follow this up. You bury the hatchet on mutual respect with what both you men have given to the wrestling business. One strictly in WWE, the other one across the entire world, TNA, New Japan, you freaking name it. Again, he's the original X Division champion. And we'll be talking more about that here pretty soon, folks, I assure you. So, yeah, I think that John Cena is going to win. It might be the longest match to date, and honestly, I see it being purely in the ring once again. I don't see these guys taking it to the extreme with the announcement because they don't need to. For Cody Rhodes saying, John Cena, you're somebody that just can't wrestle. When you hang with the phenomenal AJ Styles, the terminology and the identity of what constitutes as a wrestler wrestling kind of fits the marquee for me. This is going to be John Cena's best wrestled match this year, bar none. And I do have John Cena winning. Charles, I did see your hand. What do you guys say real quick?
And besides, too, this will probably at least better thing that Cena's got to worry about the Miz. Just Cena tease the Miz. It's like, oh, okay. Another from the blast from the past.
All the nostalgia acts, right? I mean, again, we're not going to Hollywood.
At least those two could be on. At least that match could be on either Raw. The two Raws he's going to be booked for. So So we're
Imagine
good.
if you. Well, I mean, to be fair though, does John Cena really need to involve in war games, or do you just give a guy from Cleveland, Ohio, that lives in Hollywood, California, a match in San Diego?
True.
I feel you may have just booked John Cena's match Survivor Series. Enjoy that. So there's that. All right, fair enough.
Sorry, Emmanuel. Not sorry.
Miz versus John Cena. Meh. That look at. All right.
Look, it's gonna happen eventually. That's the only other match the Cena's past they can do right now. That's
What do you
still
want-
active.
What else do you want me to say about Cena? Like, how much I hate it. Like, what else do you want me to react? How do you want me to react? The happy-go-lucky? Yeah.
That was more response to the Miz thing because that's like I said, that's the last person that's active on the WWE roster for Cena's past they could do.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Again, all the nostalgia tricks possible, but for Emmanuel, it's just
a nightmare for Emmanuel. They can't wake up from.
Yeah, this is accurate. It's WrestleMania 33 all over again without women. Sorry, not sorry. All right.
Damn.
Am I wrong, though? All right. Let's move on. Bottom line, John Cena and Styles have a phenomenal affair in Purple Australia. John Cena for the win. Okay, let's go ahead and move into what the theme of the show is about. There's a reason, folks, why the show is called Crown Jewel. Put your chess pieces on the board and feature now who will be your king and your queen. Not of the ring, but of Crown Jewel. Down under in Australia, fighting for a theme of Super Bowl ring. Let's go ahead and talk about first the women. Ladies first. Stunning Vaquer, the Raw Women's Champion, the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Champion, takes on It's Tippy Time, Tiffany Stratton, of course, the undisputed WWE Women's Champion, for the first time ever in one-on-one action for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. A photo op with a belt bigger than either woman's waistline and a Temu Super Bowl ring that probably pawn off at Pawn Stars. I mean, again, I saw WWE Hall of Fame ring pawned off. So, again, do these rings actually matter? Just saying. The inaugural winner last year was Liv Morgan. Watch her. You can't watch her. She's injured. All right. Legitimately, though, let's talk about both of these women. Fuck the ring. No one gives a damn about the ring. We care about the match. I do think people actually care about this match. Tiffany Stratton and Steve Vaquer are both trailblazers from NXT. Okay? That's a bet. There you go. Again, we so much talked about the Australian street fight without Vegemite. Imagine if Vegemite was involved in that. Yeah. And the Crunchyroll Temu anime that WWE's trying to book with Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. How does Australia fit in anime, though? I'm just saying. Never mind.
I probably have an answer for that, but I don't. We don't want to be here forever. Oh, we're going to be anyway.
I'm about to say I'm dealing with you two, and already we're at the 42-minute marker. So you all are doing it.
We're still for the first show. We still got Battle of Glory to worry about, so I don't want to make it extra longer.
We're more excited about that too. Let's be honest here, and I do think we actually won't have any visceral towards that, except me, because I don't care about NXT and Trick Williams is an ass clown.
I was to say, no, you ain't going to be comfortable during that. What the hell are we talking about?
I'm going to be biased as shit. You kidding me? But okay.
You just said me and Manuel might be the most normal during that.
No, none of you all are normal. All right. I'm just simple. Okay. Let's get back on track here. So Arlene Dominguez is already echoing her voice. Then about careful win. Okay. Then about Vaquer, of course, who won the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship against Io Sky WrestlePalooza. Has not had a single defense yet, but now she's defending the honor, the prestige, if you want to call it that, of the Raw Brand Women's Championship and her pedigree as a champion. Why Tiffany Stratton has proved that it's tippy time all the time, no matter where you are in the world. Here in Australia, once again, not the same arena, but you remember last year at Elimination Chamber, she dived up the top of the damn structure and the world screamed tippy time. Ever since being the Fridge Nia Jax, shout out to DJ F Rockin' Ropes, tippy time has ruled the world, including wins over Charlotte Flair and Trish Stratus. But has tippy time ran its course, and is the clock about to strike midnight on this run before we know it? We know it's not going to be against that bitch. Jade Cargill's never going to be a champion at this point because she wasn't a WWE original. Let's just call it as we see it. And honestly, right now, either way, you're going to bring a devalue in one of your top champions and the championships. Cause and effect. Let's just call it as it is. Gunther was never the same last year when he lost to Cody Rhodes. And as far as the women, who was the champion on the opposite brand, I don't even fucking remember. All right, so we got Tiffany Stratton versus Vaquer, first time ever, former NXT alumni, both former NXT Women's Champions. But who takes the Super Bowl ring after Vaquer had a family moment, achieving a dream? Why Tiffany Stratton might as well be wearing every piece of jewelry from the most expensive jewelry store off Beverly Hills Avenue. Let's go ahead and get your house thoughts towards this. Since Arlene Dominguez kicked things off, we'll start off with the other Dominguez here on screen. Emmanuel, do you have Vaquer or Tiffany Stratton?
On paper, it's that to be Stephanie Vaquer. I mean, I think that he planned this all along. In a way, it makes me wonder if Noah. My question to you is this: if Cody Rhodes was to defend his crown jewel, if Liv Morgan was not injured, would she replace Stephanie Vaquer in this moment? And defending her title against Tiffany Stratton, or they have to pivot. Like it makes me wonder it because Io Sky versus Liv was talked about before she got injured, so it makes me wonder if that was the original plan, and then the pivot because she was out.
I think Triple H originally wanted somebody to have a hand covered in those Temu Super Bowl rings. So yes, I do think that was the original plan. Plus, both young, both blonde, both marketable. It writes itself. It would not surprise me one bit if Liv Morgan Tiffany Stratton was the original plan all along. But we have to pivot.
Okay. That's my question. But yeah, I mean, like if they pivot and they really want to make Stephanie Vaquer into a bigger name, she has to defeat Tiffany Stratton and give her the first loss of the year. Because what a way to do that than make her name even more bigger, more extravagant. Like she's a top contender. Like she beat Tiffany Stratton, who hasn't lost yet this year.
Good point.
So it makes more sense for Stephanie to win this.
You do have a very good point about the fact that Tiffany Stratton has not lost a singles match this year, but neither has Stephanie Vaquer technically since being part of the main roster after the WTF against Jessie J, which I still can't believe she's NXT Women's Champion. I pray that Saruka wipes that out, but that's a whole different conversation. Saruka might be the only thing I actually care about in this NXT, to be perfectly honest. That's a whole different conversation. All right. That being said, he's got La Primera, Champion of Champions, continuing her historic, not even 1 year full yet on the main roster, folks. Just put that out there. Run now as champion and proving her value as a commendable champion, not just the title, but of the brand. Raw vs. SmackDown. And by the way, that was the last time those wrestling video games mattered to me. The 2K series, don't give a damn. All right. So that being said, Stephanie Vaquer for both the Dominguez. I feel like there's Latina power, though, coming into play as well. Just saying. That being said, Charles, what do you think? It's a very interesting thought that, again, neither woman technically on the main roster have been pinned or submitted in singles action. So for the first time this year, someone's got E&L in the singles win. Now, Lord knows in WWE, wins and losses don't matter. It's more about the story. But if you're on ESPN, you're trying to be more sports eccentric, and you're fighting for a Super Bowl-esque ring, then you would think whoever got the final play would actually matter in sweet victory for the long haul. But Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown, who the hell does she have a challenger not named Jade Cargill and Nia Jax, which is why I don't give a fuck about that brand and their division. Stephanie Vaquer, fresh start, but they're actually going to push somebody like Maxine Dupree, like Ivy Nile, like Roxanne Perez, like Lyra Valkyria, like Bayley. Just saying. So, just some thoughts out there. Again, cause and effect. Regardless, one championship and one champion is going to be considered weaker than the other. What do you think about this?
There we go. You're not wrong. This is more than the women's match. Just this year is not really has much story compared to the men's this year because that has a lot more story. The men's has a lot more story because it doesn't even need to involve the Crown Jewel title, honestly. Speaking for itself, but as far as this goes, You know, well, you know what? I can't believe I'm gonna say this out loud. Sorry, Manuel. I gotta pull you over here. I'm going with Tiffany's trying to win this. I can't go against every time at this point. Because every time someone goes against her, look what happens. I thought she was going to lose the title in that triple threat match with Nia and Jade. I was wrong.
Thank Christ.
But I just can't go against Tiffany Stratton. I just can't.
All right, I respect that, even though you're not even in the top 3. But then again, you also joined the league very late, so I'm not going to hold it against you either. All right, so I like the fact, though, that you guys literally went 50-50. Also, fuck you, because that means I actually got to choose now. All right, that being said.
Sorry, Noah.
Of course you aren't. Emmanuel, and let's keep in mind, folks, believe it or not, your predictions, of course, are not final until, because I'm a crazy man, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Saturday morning, because we do have a SmackDown, believe it or not, in Australia that could also lend some food for thought in the conversation. Maybe. Emmanuel, you do have a thought I can see, so what do you got to say real quick before I give my prediction?
Yeah. Like, just to tempt you more, Noah, Charles might be right, because during the contract signing, they weren't cheering for Stephanie. They were going TV time. It might, for those TV Stratton haters out there, I know I read those. Either you see that you don't like her run, but she's getting cheered by the casuals. So,
Well, that's because she's more marketable. It's just a matter of time before she's a friggin' Mattel Barbie doll figure. She came out as a friggin' Barbie doll at WrestleMania. I'm just saying. She's a living Barbie doll in a Barbie world. Blah, blah, blah.
So give it time. By time next year, if that happens, we'll say, well, no, you put that in Fun Universe. There you go.
If they actually make a Barbie doll Tiffany Stratton, I'll sing Barbie Girl on the air in a pink suit. All right, let's go ahead and move on here.
When you hear this back, you heard that.
Shut up. No one's going to timestamp that. No one ever listens to me. You know that. Shut up.
All right. Let me see here.
Charles, don't make me regret this. Emmanuel, shut the fuck up. All right, well, fuck me for a match without story, because again, I do love competition. I almost do wonder, though, this could be more competitive than Io Sky and Thunder Vaquer. But Tiffany Stratton has definitely proved me wrong in her value as a champion and in-ring competitor. Shit. Well, I mean, again, Tiffany Stratton, she has nothing else. I mean, honestly, God, she's gotten through the whole damn miscellaneous roster that hasn't been basically mid-card with Julia. That is a crying fucking shame, by the way. Because BFM and Meacham, I mean, good Lord, that's about as team as it gets. But Stephanie, yeah, she just won the fucking title. What does that mean to her as the credit of a freaking champion, let alone a champion that should not be easily beaten if she loses here? She literally just got it last month. Crap. I also got to think here, if we're going to try and do a story, what story could come out of this? Not Jay Carter, but Tiffany Stratton. We're done with that boat, all right? Stephanie, I don't think they've teased anybody to face Stephanie yet at all. They're strictly focused on her and Tiffany. But if you look at Stephanie's history, Roxanne and her have some unfinished business, quite literally. But right now, Roxanne, Lyra, Bailey, and Raquel are stuck in this loop of mistaken identity. Bailey doesn't know whether to be happy, sad, mad, hugger, or freaking full role model of herself. She's gone two-faced at this point.
Maybe Foley? She's got like 3 faces.
I was thinking more the Batman villain without the coin, as I got a quarter in front of me, and I almost want to just flip it and just pick my pick, but you know, again, when I was once a wee lad, DC was kind of a thing. Now I just find DC overrated. Anyway, dude, Superman vs. Batman was a car wreck. Don't at me. Let's see here. Fuck. I gotta go with recent bias here. At the end of the day, if Stephanie just won this title and they're trying to push Stephanie forward as the future, why Tippy time has ran high, I think people are waiting for a new face on SmackDown. Maybe Chelsea Green. I think Chelsea Green could be world champion because, God forbid, she never should have lost the fucking Women's United States Championship. Why is Julia relegated to mid-card? Why are you freaking bashing the former World Stardom champion? Why the fuck have you not been involved in anything polemic as of late?
Well, there we go, folks. You got free Noah rant.
Hey, fuck it. Move Julia to freaking Monday Night Raw and a brand freaking split and give Chelsea Green the fucking title. Hell, Meecham's been fine for this title. She's never going to be world champion. Give Meecham that damn title. Have Julia and Stephanie become the world program and reset the Raw Women's division. I'm fucking over it. So, that being said, with that aspect in mind, and pray to God that maybe that happens, I gotta go with Stephanie winning. I think Stephanie needs to prove her value as champion and needs to raise the value of this championship, which, let's be honest here, since Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, there has not been a long-term prolific champion of the Raw brand for the women. With all due respect to Io Sky, and everyone loved her, she had like one defense. Okay? After WrestleMania, the title was almost more irrelevant. So, I gotta go with Stephanie here and hoping to bring new life to this title. So, Stephanie Vaquer, Super Bowl ring aside, photo op with the giant belt, bigger than the waistline. I gotta go with Stephanie Vaquer. Charles, I did see your hand. What you gotta say real quick?
As far as what you just said, this probably could have been different if a certain Jimmy Uso did not receive a caution.
Well, I mean, yeah, there is that too. And again,
But this match probably would have been different, honestly. If Jimmy did, because it probably would have gone not Tiffany. It probably would have been Jade and Naomi in this situation.
I still say they're never going to give Jade the title. But also, if you remember correctly, Naomi and Tiffany, their bad blood goes all the way back to Australia last Elimination Chamber when, oh, yeah, that's right. Tiffany eliminated Naomi. Just saying.
True, but they probably would have done the Jade match. Instead.
Maybe, but the jury is out. Either way, we got mostly Stephanie's, and once again, Charles, the odd one out, as he has to be at least one match on every card. He went with Tiffany. Okay. Well, for a match that didn't have story, we tried to make story come out of it, if nothing else caused an effect. I will say this right now. I don't see either woman being involved in Survivor Series War Games because there's no reason.
They're probably not going to defend the belts if they're not.
Well, I mean,
there probably are going to be War Games because their belts not going to be defended.
Well, God forbid, does Survivor Series actually fucking matter since it was a Kristen as War Games? Let's just be honest here. All right, that's enough of that talk. Let's go ahead and get into the actual main event with the most story, because this story goes all the way back to WrestleMania 38 when someone that was undesirable became undeniable, came back home. And who was the first person that welcomed him through that door? Seth freaking Rollins. What does this vision hold in store? For the men's Crown Jewel Championship, the American Nightmare, the undisputed WWE Champion, Cody Rhodes goes one-on-one with the Vision, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. And this is actually a defending Crown Jewel Championship scenario. For Cody Rhodes is the inaugural men's Crown Jewel Champion after beating Gunther. I still say Gunther should have won, but at the end of the day, this is WWE. They don't give a fuck. All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about this. Not just the story of these two men and their respective careers and what ties them together, but the fact there might be, I don't know, a certain beast incarnate on both these men's minds that might come into play when it comes to the Oracle, the Wise Man, the Advocate, the GOAT, Paul Heyman. It was WrestleMania 38 when Cody Rhodes returned home and faced Seth freaking Rollins that night and beat him. Follow up with that match, of course, we had a quick roll-up where Cody Rhodes beat Seth freaking Rollins again at Backlash, WrestleMania Backlash at the time. And then, of course, with a torn pectoral muscle and the red crate of hate, it was Cody Rhodes that got the better of Seth freaking Rollins again in a hat trick. They have not met one-on-one since. However, to be the lesser of two evils, Seth freaking Rollins says that he enlisted Cody Rhodes. It was a team of circumstance with a similar purpose, to make sure the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns lose the WWE Undisputed Championship. And even the Shield had to break out when Seth freaking Rollins was the Shield to Cody Rhodes. And of course, that allowed Cody Rhodes to finish his story last year at WrestleMania and beat Roman Reigns for that title. And of course, Cody keeps on echoing Seth with bad back, bad knee. He was WrestleMania's MVP, but they say they are not friends. And why Seth freaking Rollins might be clouded by his own judgment, stuck in the shadow of the Second City Saint CM Punk, even though he has the World Heavyweight Championship. Thinks the vision is clear. The future goes through him. Now let's to stick a sword through Cody Rhodes' heart and finally beat the American Nightmare one-on-one and prove that he is the better man. However, Cody Rhodes is wondering, Paul Heyman, are you truly with Seth freaking Rollins? Or let's talk about maybe your previous client, Brock Lesnar. So your prediction here is twofold. Not only are you trying to figure out who wins the Men's Crown Jewel Championship, not only are you thinking if Seth Rollins beats Cody for the first time, do you see Brock Lesnar show up and confront either of these men for either of those titles? Because Brock Lesnar has been in the conversation now since WrestlePalooza, particularly when it comes to everything in the vision goes through Seth freaking Rollins. Does it? Or is Paul Heyman once again the man with the plan? Benedict Heyman stabbing another client again in the back for his own selfish gain. Then again, absolute power. What's more absolute than the World Heavyweight Championship than Brock Lesnar? To be determined by you. Let's go ahead and get y'all's thoughts towards this. Charles, you kick things off. Cody Rhodes, Seth freaking Rollins 4. Do you see Cody Rhodes once again upsetting Seth freaking Rollins? And does Brock Lesnar show up in any capacity during or after the match?
One, this match is going to probably more likely will have a lot of interferences. Because let's be real, Seth can't take a loss in one-on-one. Cody can't. So you got to protect one of them as humanly possible. Unlike how it was with Gunther and Cody last time. So it's like Cody knows where to lose. You know what? Crazy enough, I'm going to say Seth is going to win this match. 1,000%. We are going to get the Beast Incarnate to show up. Because, and also to remind people, before WrestlePalooza, who was the last person that beat Brock Lesnar in a one-on-one match on the WWE PLE?
That would be back at SummerSlam in Ford Field, which I saw live. That would be the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
Despite, Brock shook his hand after the match, but at the same time, fake voice that Brock hasn't truly let go of that. So it wouldn't surprise me. That happens during this. Brock shows up. F5's Cody. After pretty much Bronson and Breaker interfere, and probably Punk and LA Knight gets involved to stop that. And then literally Brock shows up. F5's Cody. There you go. Seth wins. And then that's your War Games match.
All right. Fair enough. Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar at War Games, and that's the WWE Championship. I'm sure Jeff would have a conniption.
Okay, actually, not that. Not for the title. Both of them being involved in actual War Games match.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a whole different sub-tangent. But again, Team Seth.
That's how far I see this is going. Because Seth's team's going to need another person.
Not unless they do 4. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess even 4.
They always. Yeah. So it's like.
Yeah. And LA Knight.
It's just the problem is who's going to be on the babyface team because you got so much elements into the Usos. LA Punk, Cody will have a reason. Roman. Like, what the hell what do you got set up there? You got the babyface team is going to be more harder to figure out compared to the heels.
Well, I mean, with babyfaces aside, while you're going with Seth Rollins, there's another man we haven't talked about in this conversation that also has history with Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, and that's the Viper, Randy Orton. And we just saw Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes work together this past SmackDown against the Vision. and we all saw what that led to. But as we close the book on that legacy, lest we forget, it was freaking Cody Rhodes that beat Randy Orton earlier this year at King and Queen of the Ring to get the opportunity to challenge for the championship, of course, at SummerSlam. So that's a whole nother piece of this conversation. You have Cody, Seth, Punk, Knight, Roman, Randy, Brock, all involved in this crazy story where we don't give a fuck about the ring. We care about this match.
The ring doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Exactly.
It's literally about the history. More time.
We're almost trying to shape WrestleMania at this point because all those names we mentioned have to be involved at WrestleMania. It's a matter of what capacity, one-on-one, title, not, grudge, etc. Because people for the longest time have been wondering, when the fuck is CM Punk going to face Cody Rhodes one-on-one, tease at the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row? When the fuck is Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins going to have one-on-one since that Royal Rumble match that ended in DQ? And Roman has never gotten the best of Seth freaking Rollins. And this whole vision started with a curb stomp. And where does Brock fit into this? LA Knight, Jey Uso, is that going to be a subcar mid-match where Jey and LA might both be heels for all we know? But again, that's far down the line. Either way, I do see what you're saying when it comes to the fact, all hell is going to break loose here. And what's obviously going to be in the main event Crown Jewel, it's just a matter of what the fuck's going to be the last shot that we see. And your fan is going to be a beast incarnate, but Seth is winning.
Pretty much.
Okay, fair enough.
And it's going to lead right into War Games because this match and the Roman match is going to play super heavily into what we're going to get for War Games on the men's side.
And to your point, Bronson, Reed, and Roman Reigns might also play heavy in this if either man gets involved in either man's behalf. Does Roman respect Cody? Does Bronson Reed have enough to in him? Bronson Reed also from Australia, by the way. Oh, fuck. He's from Australia. Oh, fuck. I just realized that. Shit.
Well, no, you're in the island on your own there, buddy.
Well, fuck me. Not the first time I've been on my own island of the relevancy, but
subject to change predictions, Charles.
Exactly.
Predictions subject to change, not finalized till 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Saturday morning. I said what I said. But I do get what you're saying. That being said, great opening thoughts. Good Charles for that. All right, so he has Seth Rollins, and he does have Brock Lesnar showing up. Before I continue, you do see the Avatar Man to the right-hand side of me. Please welcome, of course, the Rage of Wrestling, the most reliable person of the Super Reliable Studios, and a longtime friend, also City Predicting, Walter Cruz on voice. Walter, good to hear you. Well, the City Predicting episode 150. We're talking about WWE Crown Jewel. We're talking about the main event. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I just came back from the doctors.
How was the doctor, by the way? Because that's why I care about more.
Good,
All
good. But yeah, it's 8:40 on the West Coast. That's why I'm just walking in. But so we're talking about the main event. I think based on subtle hints and things that are going on with Paul Heyman and everything, I actually think Seth Rollins is going to pull this one out.
Oh, do you really?
Yes, I think Seth Rollins is going to win.
Okay. So we got two Seth Rollins. But do you think Brock Lesnar comes into play at all? Does Brock Lesnar prey on either man's mind, or Paul Heyman, of course, being the advocate to the Beast Incarnate? Do you think he comes into play? Let's not forget, Seth beat Brock Lesnar for the freaking championship in the opening bout back at WrestleMania 35. I don't think Brock ever forgot about that.
No, but I don't think they're going to cough up as much money as it would take the Brock to get his ass to Perth. So I don't think he's going to be over there. I don't think he's
be so sure. I want to be so sure, Walter. This cup, the TKO can gladly, it's like, hey, here. It's like, don't doubt it. Well, not every couldn't, but TKO.
Plus the money they charging for these tickets. So yeah, they can get it. But yeah, I don't think Brock shows up. I think they'll wait till they're back in the States, and that first Raw when he's back in the States, he'll pop up.
Okay, fair enough. So we got both Seps. One yes to Brock, one no to Brock. I like this dynamic. All right, well, let's go to Emmanuel now and get his thoughts on this. Emmanuel, let's also consider this. We talk about the women and the value of the championships and the champion. Both men won their championships at SummerSlam. Same situation here. However, Cody Rhodes is a two-time undisputed WWE champion coming off that defense against Drew McIntyre at WrestlePalooza. Seth freaking Rollins is now a two-time WWE World Heavyweight champion, and he's coming off a fatal four-way defense back at Clash in Paris. and he just lost the mixed tag match to CM Punk at WrestlePalooza. So those are other factors to consider here as well, where you almost would hope it would just come down to these two men one-on-one, and it sounds like we're just calling all hell to break loose down under in Australia. So what do you think here? Do you agree with the consensus about Seth and Rollins? What's your thoughts on Brock Lesnar? Go ahead.
I think we're going to be unanimous in this one. Seth Rollins for the win. I mean, like, I think we're going to have a storyline with Brock Lesnar. Seth Rollins wants to win this by himself, and he's knocked out. And then Brock Lesnar comes out, helps him, gets the victory with the stop. And then later on, he like in Raw, you make him see like he's all happy about his victory, but he doesn't see the replay. He's knocked out. He's out. Well, once he gets to Raw and sees the replay, he's gonna question Paul Heyman. Did you know Brock Lesnar was gonna come out? Were you part of it? That's the storyline we could get from these two. Like, if Heyman working against Seth Rollins' vision, is he really not in control as we suspect? So I think we might have a short in the Survivor Series. Seth trying to take down his own vision, his own creation, turn into hell. That's a better storyline. Can you imagine Brock Lesnar, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed?
All the bees.
Oh, the beast, exactly.
And literally, that's like 3 people you don't want to be in a dark alley.
Accurate.
Yeah, imagine just Ova Femi as the fourth guy.
Well, he's been MIA since losing the NXT Championship, so that's a whole different plot itself.
It's by saying those 4 names, you're like, who's gonna defeat these 4 guys?
That's fair. Well, I mean, hell, Roman was going to beat Bronson Reed, and we still are waiting for Roman versus Braun. I'm just saying. But okay, so that being said, he's going with Seth freaking Rollins, and he does think that Brock Lesnar is going to show up. So this whole side is complete unanimous in both match and beast fought. You, of course, are same decision, but you think Brock does not. Emmanuel, I think you literally hit the nail on the head, because let's be honest here. Again, the story. What's the bigger story right now? What's been Monday Night Raw since who knows when? The Seth and Punk show. At this point, they're going to run back Seth versus Punk one-on-one again for that title. I don't think they are going to work on Seth versus the Roman. And actually, well, that's right. You did go with Brock. So basically, everyone's basically saying the same thing. Walter was the one that said no to Brock. But again, we're on ESPN. You don't get more legitimate combat sports crossover athlete than Brock Lesnar. If the money speaks, the man will fly, go back home, and buy more land in Canada. That's what he does. He shows up. He's a special attraction. And right now, I just don't see a reason for Cody Rhodes to be relegated back to War Games. Again, it's just one of the things where I think War Games is such a trope right now when it comes to the value of the championship direction of them. And we, of course, talk about Survivor Series being the last PLE stop of the WWE calendar year. You got to start thinking about what that means for Royal Rumble, considering Royal Rumble's in Saudi Arabia next year. And also, if Cody Rhodes does win, he will make history becoming the first 2-time men's crown jewel champion and have 2 Super Bowl rings on his hand. Again, Triple H wants the idea that someone can win a handful of rings, whatever that means. But I also think about that. Is Cody the guy to be the crown jewel of WWE consistently? Is it almost just built in the formula right now? And again, do we need anything else to stroke Seth's ego?
Don't forget, when is the release of Street Fighter? Because Cody might have to go away to do promotional stuff. Why would you want him having all this momentum and then disappear from your company again?
Yeah, that's also a fair point. But at the end of the
Next
day,
year, so we're good.
Yeah, we got some time, and I figured that Cody would not let that, derail him too far off from being the face of WWE. Let's call it what it is. He's the face of TKO, not CM Punk. But again, I think about everything that could be ahead at WrestleMania season next year and how long this vision keeps moving forward. We know we're going to get the vision involved in War Games. It's truly as simple as that. You're going to have a Kabuki babyface team. It's probably going to be Punk and Cody teaming up to tease further that match finally happening. It's probably going to be Roman, Punk, and Cody, considering the history all three of these men have with each other, and they all hate Seth friggin' Rollins. And then you got LA Knight because it's California, and LA hates Punk, but he also hates Seth friggin' Rollins even more. Or Jay, because Jay's trying to be like more Roman-like. I don't know, just putting it out there. But Cody wins the ring 2 years in a row, or does Seth finally get the better of Cody Rhodes? Do we close the book on Seth and Cody, or does Seth keep in that proverbial shadow that he can't beat Cody Rhodes? I'm a little bit torn here. I do understand y'all's point about being kind of unanimous. It kind of makes sense for all hell to break loose. Everyone's gone. Everyone's dismissed. Brock Lesnar comes out. F5's Cody. You build and tease. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar for the Undisputed WWE Championship. But does Brock need to hold the gold title for the first time in his career is the other thing I'm also wondering as well. Like you said, they got to figure out what else after Cody Rhodes. And I don't think they have a damn direction. I really don't. And I do think they might use Brock Lesnar for that leverage of being the guy to go after. But do I want to see the WWE Championship held hostage again? No, I don't. And I do think that mutual, respect with Cody and Brock at SummerSlam 2023 should hold merit. So I'm going to say that Brock Lesnar does not show up, and I'm going with Cody Rhodes to win the Crown Jewel Championship. I think he becomes 2 times in a row. I just don't see any reason for Seth Rollins to beat Cody right now and hold on to this ring. Hell, Punk doesn't give a damn about the ring. Punk just cares about getting the title off Seth freaking Rollins. Seth's fragile ego of absolute power will be literally halted a little bit and questioned if he loses this match here, but doesn't lose the title. And Paul Heyman reinforces, if you lose, everything we've done here will be all for naught. And will those words further echo disbelief and doubt in Seth freaking Rollins? Is War Games the undoing to the vision? And is Crown Jewel the first domino to fall in that effect? That's another thing that I think about here. I also do think, though, there could be miscommunication for those that come in to help the vision against the vision. What if Roman Reigns spears Cody? What if CM Punk accidentally hits Cody Rhodes? Hell, what if, LA Knight comes out and hits Cody Rhodes for all we know? At this point, Cody taking a bullet here for Seth to win is more realistic than Brock Lesnar showing up and screwing Cody, in my opinion. But I also think at the end of the day, they're going to go with Cody Rhodes being the guy to move forward with the momentum, because Seth right now doesn't have to be, the commanding champion. He just has to be the guy that you can't beat on Monday Night Raw because the vision goes through him. So I'm going to say that Cody Rhodes wins here, actually. I'm going with Cody Rhodes wins the Crown Jewel Championship again.
So you have Seth going 0-4 against Cody?
Yes, I do. I think it's one of those things that Seth cannot beat Cody Rhodes. I was calling for him being the sword to Cody's shield at the end of the year, and clearly that won't be a case. So I think at this point, the only way Seth beats Cody is if Randy Orton drops Cody Rhodes, in my opinion. You finally build Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes one-on-one for the championship, and Randy Orton goes full heel. But do we need Randy Orton to go heel again, honestly? I don't think so. Not yet. I don't need a pre-Royal Rumble situation where Kevin Owens goes rogue on Cody, and you saw what happened to Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble. But it wasn't probably to go that direction, because at the end of the day, what's next for Cody Rhodes? Seth has a story. Cody doesn't.
I think you hold off with the Randy build until you're close to the WrestleMania, because it's got to be Randy Cody at WrestleMania. Just hold off a little closer to Royal Rumble or past it. He doesn't necessarily have to go heel. He could just earn the title shot. He can win the Elimination Chamber, earn the title shot, and say, sorry, Cody, I'm going after you, or something.
Yeah, because I don't think people were booing either way. So.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair, but you also just literally left CM Punk and Roman Reigns out of the equation with Cody Rhodes in the championship, and people are already clamoring for that. So that's fair enough. Charles, I did see your hand. What you got to say real quick in closing to this?
And besides, too, I do expect Reigns to turn heel, because he wasn't very happy, because you brought up King and Queen of the Reign. He was very better knowing that Cody for how the turnbuckle thing And also to tease us ever since Randy came back and after Cody won the title, like Randy is going to eventually. Cody should realize in the back of his mind he can't trust Randy forever.
He's gonna punch him in the head.
Sooner rather than later, Cody's going to get that RKO, and he should learn as well because he did get his ass kicked by Randy before. It's like you can't trust Randy that long.
Never
All gonna
trust
bite you.
him.
Nope, and especially Cody should learn that because he did that while he was a Legacy.
Yeah.
How well that ended for him. What a punch to the head for his troubles.
Fair enough. And again, SmackDown
WrestleMania nonetheless too, which is very funny.
WrestleMania 26. There you go. 15 years later. Wouldn't that be ironic? Well,
It will be.
It's also one of those things. Also, again, the go home SmackDown tomorrow might also change my opinion. Again, folks, predictions are finalized 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But that being said, that's Crown Jewel. So before we move on, what is y'all's closing thoughts in the chat? Do you think Brock Lesnar does show up? Is Brock going to be involved in WrestleMania season and will involve a championship? Does Seth Rollins get the better of Cody Rhodes? Does Cody Rhodes prove that the vision can be denied and that Cody Rhodes truly is undisputed and that can't be denied? What hell breaks loose down under in Australia for both the men and the women in and out of the Crown Jewel Championships? Let your final thoughts be known. But that being said, that concludes the first half of this special edition of City Predicting Double Feature as we now move away from Crown Jewel and move back to the States to tell you who may be forged to go bound for glory. Let's go ahead and transition into this weekend's marquee pay-per-view event, TNA Bound for Glory. TNA Bound for Glory again will start at, I believe, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a countdown 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll usher in new Hall of Famers and Mickie James and the beautiful people, which we'll talk about here briefly, as well as, of course, several matches that could have huge NXT takeover implications before we say acquisition and start calling TNA WWE TNA. God help me. So let's go ahead and talk about TNA Bound for Glory. First and foremost, as I said earlier, congratulations to Hardcore Country, Mickie James, and the beautiful people who will take their rightful place, excuse me, damn hiccups, into the TNA Hall of Fame. Of course, I am talking about Velvet Sky and Angelina Love and Mickie James herself. You can actually go check out the last rodeo in full on TNA's YouTube channel. Mickie James and Angelina Love and Velvet Sky, of course, former TNA Knockouts World Champions. Velvet, beautiful people, of course, former TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, was basically beautifying the Knockouts division one ugly face at a time. I remember, of course, all those rivalries with the likes of Mickie James, if y'all remember back in the early days. And, of course, Mickie James beat the likes of Jordan Grace to win the TNA Knockouts World Championship one last final time. Had an incredible final run. Found herself. Truly showed what Hardcore Country was all about. Went a little rogue for a little while, etc. So before we get into TNA Bound for Glory, let's go ahead and honor these TNA Hall of Famers. I'm going to open the floor towards anybody that wants to talk about Mickie James or the beautiful people's impact of you as a fan of TNA wrestling. Let's start off with Walter. Walter, what do you think about this year's class for the TNA Hall of Fame being all women in the beautiful people and Mickie James? What are some of your fondest memories?
Well deserved. The beautiful people. I used to love them. At first, they were like kind of annoying, but I got used to them, and they more and more talent. Like I feel like they were kind of part of what WWE did with the Diva era. Like they were more like for your eyes, but their talent surpassed that and changed my opinion on both of them. Especially Love. Like Love really started impressing me in that era. I kind of wish she would like come back, but I don't know if there's injuries or it's just age or they're just done with the business in general. But I'm glad TNA's recognizing them. And then Mickie James, of course, she's right up there with like Gail Kim. Like once she left WWE and went to TNA, she became like the woman of TNA. Like she made TNA's knockout division for a while. And people love that music. When they heard that Hardcore Country and she came out, it was ridiculous. So well deserved by both women. Or both, all three women, I should say, because I know they're going in as a tag team, but it's still three people. Well deserved, and I'm glad. And I'm glad they keep it simple with their Hall of Fame. Last year, I think just Rhino went in, and now this year it's only these 3 people. So I like how TNA does their Hall of Fame, and they should keep it like that. Don't let WWE influence that.
For the love of God, please no. Well said, Walter. Well said. I saw Rhino, of course, in Bound for Glory live last year as I got my towel still. And to your point, yeah. And previous to that, of course, it was Don West and Mike Tenay. It was the original OG knockout Tracy Brooks, etc. And of course, the TNA Hall of Fame goes all the way back to the likes of Earl Hebner, Kurt Angle, etc. So very well said. Double J Jeff Jarrett even's in the TNA Hall of Fame. So there you go. So well said, Walter. Charles, what do you got to say regarding this year's class for the TNA Hall of Fame? The beautiful people in hardcore country, Mickie James.
To be fair, we are going to see 2 TNA Hall of Famers wrestle on this show. Team 3D, if you also forget, remember.
Oh, that's very true.
So there you go. So pretty much as far as the beautiful people goes, yeah, I agree with Walter's point. I had the same view on them too, like Walter did. That speaks for itself. Congratulations to the baby people. Mickie James. I agree with Arlene's point. What did she put in the chat?
I saw.
Yeah. Crazy, right? Get to the TNA Hall of Fame yet. Where's she going to the WWE one already? It's like, come on.
Yeah, about to say, which company actually respects her more?
Look, they're the only team the only people that's gone into the WWE Hall of Fame that's literally part of the TNA one is literally Jarrett, Sting, and Team 3D. That's about it.
There you go.
Look, actually, no, Kurt Angle. I got to include Kurt too. I almost got about Kurt. I should. No.
Don't ever forget about Kurt freaking Angle. I'm just
I know.
saying.
I literally did for. I'm like, I'm gonna get yelled at.
You know what's nuts, and people don't realize Kurt Angle's TNA run was longer than his actual WWE run.
Exactly.
That is so true because he didn't lead TNA until what, 2015 or 16?
During some point in the Anthem era, after they left the ballroom in New York, you're absolutely correct. Of course, he came back a little while and had like last matches in the O2 against the likes of Drew Galloway, Bobby Lashley, Bobby Roode,
Cody.
EC3, Cody, yeah, exactly. Others, exactly. By the way, that's programming note. Just want to get the times right here because again, Bound for Glory, the countdown is live and free this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TNA Plus and TNA Digital platforms. That will include the TNA Hall of Fame inductions and, of course, our only match on the countdown we'll talk about here shortly. The pay-per-view, again, pay-per-view, it's exclusively on TNA Plus or pay-per-view provider if you have one, 7 p.m. Standard Time this Sunday. So please plan accordingly and support TNA Wrestling. Anyway, thank you for those thoughts, Charles. Emmanuel, do you have to say anything regarding the beautiful people and Mickie James going to the TNA Hall of Fame?
Yeah, well deserved for these 3 women. The beautiful people, they had it all. Like they had the looks, the charisma. You love to hate them. That's the thing. Just like just as like a certain group that you currently hate, Ash by Elegance.
I'm mutual now after Ash's again. Character aside, I fucking hated that freaking.
No, before she announced it, but I just say that they taught them to be that kind of person, like Toni Storm. Like that's the beautiful people gimmick right there. Like she was thinks she's above everybody else in a certain way.
Good point.
It's one of those gimmicks like. It's so influential that like even the fate influence it hits, and that's why it's the storyline still continues after they've been gone. Mickie James, like it's great to see her get her flowers as well after the BS that they did to her career. I was kind of happy that she's changed her gimmick in a way because that was one of my biggest gripes. Like with Naomi because she really didn't change her gimmick from WWE, but Mickie James did. She put her country roots on the line as a character, and she nailed it. You believed in her. You believed the attitude, the badassery she had, and it's great to see her in the Hall of Fame. That well deserved. I don't know that Psycho Diva who faced Trish Stratus. Yeah, that Psycho Diva that faced Trish Stratus and WrestleMania 22 finally has her moment.
Well, there you go. Well said. And again, I, of course, remember, one of my favorite rivalries, Mickie James versus the Virtuosa Diana Purrazzo. It was basically a Texas hardcore death match there. And I still remember Mickie James, she is legitimately crazy. Girl prepared all these years later when we had a freaking moment where she reminded us exactly how crazy she is. Lithium, Mickie, lithium, Jesus. But yeah, absolutely justifiably deserved by all three of these women. Pioneers, trailblazers, leaders, champions of the Knockouts division, the true alternative professional wrestling business. And of course, whether you hated or loved them, whether you were crazy or whether you were still all about the city life, you couldn't argue the impact that the beautiful people and Mickie James left on what became the flourishing Knockouts division. Congratulations again to Velvet Sky, Angelina Love, and Mickie James, who will take their place this coming Sunday in the TNA Hall of Fame. All right, well, that being said, great job, guys, honoring the grace. Now let's go ahead and look towards the future, who's bound for glory, and get right into this card. And we, of course, had one match made official tonight on Impact Wrestling. Again, if you have not watched TNA Wrestling, there will be spoilers here subtly, so you have been warned in advance. Again, you have been warned in advance. Thank you. So let's start with someone that's truly going to be inspirational, because guess what? They asked for it. They're going to get it. We have our rematch clause on the countdown. It's once again on the countdown. Jesus Christ. It's the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. It's, of course, the new TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, the two-time champs, Jessica McKay and Cassie Lee, the Inspiration, taking on the Elegance brand, Heather by Elegance and M by Elegance, with that Pee Wee Herman Timu cosplaying reject, the personal concierge, in their corner. Straight up as simple as this, folks. As the Inspiration beat the Elegance brand last week, thank Christ, and became history-making two-time TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, the only legitimate women's tag team professional wrestling. Bite me if you think otherwise, now and forever, and even then. Sorry, not sorry, it is what it is. They now are putting in the rematch clause to get those titles back. As, of course, Cassie and Jessica McKay calls them the best to ever do this, and I absolutely agree. We'll see if the Cinderella moment stops abruptly and if I rant already before the actual pay-per-view begins. So straight up, it is a tag team title rematch. But you also got to consider that TNA Knockouts, or as Tatsuya and I subtly put it, the previous NXT superstars, now TNA Knockouts, lost this past Tuesday on NXT Showdown for TNA. Damn it. And I almost do wonder if the people that pinned the Inspiration might have their eyes on the tag team titles. I mean, again, we are talking about the only women tag team championships that actually have competition towards them, even though it's across two different companies. That's the same with fractured divisions. So straight up, let's get your thoughts if you think we're actually going to have, they're going to retain. We're actually going to have new women TNA Knockouts tag team champions. Jessica McKay, Cassie, they're going to retain. All right, don't even waste your breath. Let's go ahead and start off with Walter Cruz here, Inspiration Forever, to talk about whether or not he believes that the Elegance brand are going to regain these titles back once again. Walter, go ahead and lend your thoughts towards this TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship match 1 week later.
They won't even look elegant in their loss. They're getting their asses kicked. I'm inspired to believe that the same champions walk in and walk out with the titles.
There you go. Now, I know what I said earlier about everyone giving their thoughts, but legit. We're all sober here. I hope the bottom row's sober here. You are not going to convince me in any form of alternate reality into the wormhole Morgan Freeman style. The Elegance brand should absolutely get these titles back 1 fucking week later, right? Good people. The silence speaks volumes. Inspiration for the win. All right, well, that was the easiest match to call. Now, let's go ahead and get into the actual meat and potatoes of this card. By the way, no disrespect, but fuck me. You literally booked this match 1 week later and expect us to believe in a different result? Y'all are fucking stupid. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the actual card, Sally. You ready to have some fun? This is where you guys can go bloody insane. Let's talk about the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. The Bound for Glory Call Your Shot Gauntlet has been a tradition here at Bound for Glory. And for those that don't know, it is a 20-person. That's right. Both men and women are involved in this. It is a 20-person Call Your Shot Gauntlet match. It's a gauntlet match. It's a mini Royal Rumble, basically. And the winner receives a contract for a championship match of their choosing up to 1 year. That is any championship in TNA wrestling. We have both men and women, I believe, previously won this. Jordan Graves, of course, the first and only woman to win this. Last year, it was that crook Kazarian who, of course, blew his shot at Rebellion. We, of course, have seen the likes of Moose win this and immediately cash in the same night and win the TNA World Championship. And here's the kicker. Lei Ling Lee is the very first entrant. Vance Warner is the very last entrant. It could be anybody from TNA now or then, and it wouldn't surprise me if this actually has NXT involvement. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to allow you each to have 2 picks. Your primary worth 2, your secondary worth 1. But keep in mind, the winner of this has a chance to call their shot for any TNA championship. Let's go around the horn and see what you all think. Again, names could be in this, including but not limited to Jody Fret, Danny Luna, Jake Something. Damn it, he's the man champion. I'm just saying. Sorry, I got a little bit hot there, all right? You know how much I believe in Jake Something. Eric Young, the Northern Armory, the Rascals. It could be freaking Joe Hendry. So
name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Damn it! Again, it's a who's who. It could be the hometown man. Fucking Christ. It could be Matt Cardona. It could be Josh Briggs from NXT because who ain't doing Jack Dealey shit. It could be Sean Spears. It could be anybody you could think of, honestly, in this NXT relationship, men or women. All bets are off. 2 picks. Let's go around the horn and see what you all think. Charles, I will start with you. Who are your 2 picks to win the Call Your Shot Gauntlet this year at Bound for Glory?
1, I would laugh hysterically if this were to happen. Sorry, not sorry, Noah. This couple would be jokingly dumb enough to probably give the hometown man the win.
Oh, God.
I would not be surprised.
That'd be the biggest WWE freaking move I've ever heard in TNA. Shark Boy deserves it more than the hometown man.
Okay, now Shark Boy. Okay, that was a bit
original.
Still,
Swinger deserves it more than the hometown man.
Oh, there we go. There goes Noah. We already started off. I love it.
There you go, Attila. You walk up. Anyway, go ahead.
You're welcome, Attila. I did that for you for a reason. I did that specifically.
Of course you fucking did. Continue.
At number 2, I would not be surprised. And I would be shocked, but not really, if an NXT person actually wins this. And as far as who the NXT person could be, that's just depends really if they show up or not, this person. But if I were to go with the 1 pick point here, Emmanuel brought his name up earlier when we talked about the Brock team. Obafemi.
Oh, God.
Just saying.
I mean, again, he doesn't have the NXT championship anymore, so maybe he could cross the line and actually pursue a title here. I don't know. Depending on our main event, that could make also Walter rage and probably quit on stuff. That's a wild thought, but not too far-fetched. Okay.
Besides the first pick.
Again, sometimes people just go off the rails and pick whatever the fuck they want, and just to raise my ire.
I was more realistic close to Oba compared to the hometown man.
I figured you were
I only picked the hometown man just because I want to hear how you would react personally during this, and also when it happens during the show when you call it.
I'm just going to say this. Matt Cardona beat Ryan Emmett tonight on TNA Wrestling after freaking Nick Nemeth got ejected from ringside thanks to the hometown man's aid. The hometown man and Matt Cardona have been the Nemeth's undoing. Also, Nick Nemeth could also win this thing too. He could also be in this. So, okay, fair enough. I will say this. As long as it's not flop dollar, I'll be a little bit happy. Okay, fair enough. Hell, it could be Rosemary, honestly. All right. So there's his 2 picks. Whether or not you believe in both or believe in one, that's up for you to decide. And again, I also want to point out your predictions for TNA Bound for Glory will be final 6:30 p.m. Eastern. No, not going to put that back. Make sure I get the times right. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday night. I did see your hand. What you got to say real quick before I go to Emmanuel?
Besides, too, Matt Cardona is probably not going to win this because I do expect Josh Briggs to show up and screw him over, to be fair. And that was going to probably build to Tuesday.
Yeah, the face are one-on-one.
So basically, that's Josh Briggs is probably more realistic to show up, probably as a participant, or just show up in general to screw over Matt Cardona in retaliation for Matt Cardona screwing him over.
Right.
That's probably what's going to happen.
Okay, fair enough. Just give me Killer Kelly versus Tim Paxley in this thing. Why the heck not? All right. I'm all for it. All right, fair enough. Myron Reed's another pick to think about. I'm just throwing out names out here in case you all don't know who's actually in TNA, in case you haven't watched TNA in the last friggin' few years, despite the fact they actually have WWE now associated with them, thanks to WNXT. And God forbid the alternative might become a similarity. RIP. All right. Well, thank you for that. All right, Manuel, let's go to you next. What are your 2 picks towards the call your shot gauntlet? Who do you think wins?
First off, Charles, if the hometown man wins, does that mean Gilbert, my homeboy, my favorite wrestler of all time, has a chance to beat the hometown man? Does that mean we can Air Force as in the battle royal as well? Are you telling me this is chance?
Yes, Emmanuel.
There's a better chance of Ron Killing showing up and remembering he was quit at one point in TNA than that happening.
Anyways, not for my rep predictions.
Right?
If we're gonna, if we gotta do it when NXT one TNA, I gotta do that gimmick.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
Yeah, I know. I just gonna say, what has he done in NXT lately? Is he injured? What is he doing? Wesley.
Oh.
Like, where has he been? I'm not sure if he's injured or he's gone. But Wesley versus Leon Slater for the X Division title, like that's money match right there. That's why I'm going for Wesley.
I like that thinking.
For the X Division title. For TNA, if Santana's gonna be the guy, can you imagine the heat, Noah? My big brother.
Oh God.
He wins it.
Just what I need. Just what I need to freaking hear.
He's gonna say now he has a new catchphrase. Your new gauntlet winner.
Oh God.
You can see it. You can see it.
I know. That's why I hate that you're right. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
So those are my 2 picks.
All right, fair enough. Oh my gosh, that dude's voice is worse than the secretary from Monsters Inc. Oh boys, good God.
That was like a top. That could be worse than that one, Noah. Just saying.
I don't know. That's true. I don't see any paperwork proving that.
No one could be worse than her, okay? Let's be real.
I've heard worse voices. Do you remember the nanny?
Wazowski.
Friggin' Fran Dresser from the nanny? You kidding me? She had a nasal issue, I think.
I hate the fact you reminded me of that. Damn you. I wanted to forget about that, you ass.
I could talk about the other thing I always talk about with you, but never mind. Let's go ahead and leave all that alone. Yet. Keyword yet. Zara Brookside is another one that could also be involved in this. Just saying. All right, Walter, let's go ahead and let your thoughts. Again, you and I are calling this shebang this Sunday. It's going to be a hell of a good time. It's going to be ridiculous, I'm sure, as well. What do you think? Eric Young just beat Joe Hendry tonight in a no disqualification match with a freaking pile driver. So Eric Young's also another man that could be involved in this. Again, Grand Slam TNA champion. So what are your two picks towards this call your shot gauntlet? Go ahead.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if after being inducted to the Hall of Fame, Miss Love shows up in the gauntlet like as a surprise, but not to win. But I just think she could be one of the participants and get beat like really quick because she hasn't been in the ring for a long time. But just for the pop, I think she can show up.
Okay, that's fair. That'd be kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead with Miss Parker from NXT. Because she seems to not be able to win a title in NXT. So why not shift over here and try to dominate TNA? So, another pick. It's hard because I don't really see anyone having momentum behind them to it literally call your shot is the most random. Like usually you would think, all right, who's got momentum behind them? That the crowd is behind, everything's behind them, and then you feel like, oh, he's gonna be somebody. So, Jesus, you know what?
Right.
Steve Maclin.
Oh, well, I mean, he is involved in a match tonight. Actually, he's getting his rematch for the TNA National Championship.
Dang it, I forgot about that.
So you can't go with that.
Geez, I would think he would. Would you stop whining, dog? Jesus, yeah, hear him? It's Uncle Hort. Jeez.
His brain's fried. He can't.
Yeah, man, that was a good pick with Oba to make a surprise there, but I really can't think. You know what? I'll add one when we do the picks. I can't think of another one, but I think Jada Parker will be. It might be a female this year, but since Frankie won last year, so I got to think of more females. But I wouldn't be surprised if Mickie James or Angelina Love show up. They're not going to win it, but they're going to show up in there after being the duck just for the pop.
That's fair. We're also in New York, so you got to consider who else might show up here as well from the New York area. Charles, I did see your hand. You got something to say real quick?
I am shocked that Walter did not. If you went with Jada, I'm sitting here going, you could have just. You didn't go with Loa?
Oh.
No, because I'm still pissed at what they did, and I feel like she's getting that title eventually. They're gonna somehow bring her back.
Sacred man over here. It's like, Walter, you're not gonna say Lola, or come on, wait for you to say
you gotta
her
stay
name.
away from TNA.
Okay.
All right, fair enough. All right. Well, I do like the fact that we are thinking about both men and women here. Again, in Call Your Shot Gauntlet history, Jordan Grace is the only woman to have won the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. Other winners have all been men. It's been Bully Ray. It's been Moose. It's been Kazarian. That went so well, right? It's just one of those things that, again, you think about who could challenge for any. This is any championship. We're talking about the tags. We're talking about, and Rhino was once a freaking winner of this. Rhino freaking cashed in and won the tag titles for Violent by Design, unless you freaking forget at one point, folks. I'm just saying. So I understand where you're coming from. It is very partisan, but I think I'm just going to keep it simple for now and kind of just shoot my shot because I want to see them involved in the championship picture. For my number two, I'm going with Killer Kelly. I want to see Killer Kelly take the fucking head off one of the women for that championship. Whether or not it's Indi Hartwell, Kalani Jordan, or somebody else, I want Killer Kelly to rule the freaking TNA Knockouts division. Now, here's the thing, though. Laylee Lee is number 1. Vance Warner is number 20, the Southern Psychopath. Wouldn't that surprise me if Steph Delander gets involved in his behalf or even be an entrant? Would also not surprise me if Laylee Lee is the freaking Iron Person here and could run the entire match. She comes in at number 1. She has to go the entire way. Mara Sade could also be involved. I think about somebody that hasn't been involved in TNA in a long effing time due to injury. The mother effing king, Kylan King, is another person I would love to see surprise out of nowhere, but I don't think it would get the right justified reaction because she's been so out indefinitely in TNA wrestling. Leslie his thoughts here. Stan Zaria might be a fair shout. Hell, Soruka. Soruka could be a nice shout, but I think they might be building Soruka versus Jessie Jane for the NXT Championship. Go ahead.
I wish Chris Bay was healed. Because can you imagine the pop if he returned during this? Yes! I wish he was healed, man.
Yes!
You would have to win the match by default if that would have happened.
Yeah, this is absolutely accurate. I'm not going to lie. But well said, Walter. This is just me going way out there talking about it's not a work. But he is going to be involved in House of Glory. Can you imagine if Killer Cross shows up in TNA again? Considering the fallout from his previous
man, you want all the killers to win. Killer Kelly, Killer Cross.
I guess
to be fair, Don Callis is not in TNA, so
exactly. So I'm just putting it out there, but that's not my pick. Either way, I'm gonna keep it in TNA because I'm TNA faithful. Because again, not my NXT. Stay your own brand, damn it. I'm gonna go with Killer Kelly, and man, that's the thing. Yeah, that is really difficult.
You see what I mean? I was like, I couldn't even think. It's all about no one has momentum. It's the most random match.
It is. You're absolutely right. It is. And with Joe Hendry's contract being up, it sounds like everyone's riding him up to go to NXT next year, and he just got power driven in his head by Eric Young, almost as you think he's going to not even be involved in this. Damn it. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck it. I'm just going to go out here on a limb and go with a guy that just signed a TNA recently, and he lost the triple threat at Victory Road. Maybe this could be his moment of glory. Cedric Alexander. I'm going to go with Killer Kelly and Cedric Alexander to keep things inside TNA. But Killer Kelly, my number 1, because I want to see Killer Kelly win the TNA Knockouts World Championship. So that's my 2. And again, who the fuck knows is going to show up in this thing? TNA Nostalgia or NXT cross the line? This is going to be interesting, but get ready for a clusterfuck. Just saying. Amanda, I do see your hand before we move on.
Can you imagine, Noah? Like, I love the long track but can you imagine an AEW NXT TNA crossover?
Oh, Jesus.
That'll be the end of that'll be the ultimate, the wrestling earth, it just explodes.
Yeah, the Daytona Con and Triple H share a ring.
You know what else? I wouldn't be surprised. After losing the tag title, the Dark State just freaking ruins this thing.
Oh, shit. You're right. That's a huge coup because 4 of those men could literally run roughshod here and win it for the group to control, possibly going after the freaking TNA World Championship. Again, that's a very fair point. Factions could come into play here, and Dark State, Retribution, and Heads Without a Side, those 4 renegades might literally get involved here. That's a very fair shout out. All right, well, fair enough. Well, we'll see what happens here soon enough. But those are my picks, and I love the fact that everyone here was very dynamic. But again, keep it in TNA. Stay the fuck away from this NXT. Okay. Wow. Woof. That was quite a talk. Let's go ahead and move into some more discussion about faction warfare. Let's talk about the hardcore war. For do you trust the system, or in Ali, do you trust in his family, the Order 4? Let's talk about hardcore war. It's the Order 4 versus the system. Mustafa Ali, the Great Hands, Tasha Steelz, and Agent Zero taking on the face of the franchise, Moose. JDC returning from injury. Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards, former TNA Tag Team Champions. And Alicia Edwards, ride-or-die partner of Eddie Edwards since 2017. A battle for pride to prove who is the strongest faction in TNA wrestling. And after what we saw at Victory Road, I called it. By dubious means, Mustafa Ali did get the advantage for the Order 4 against the system. For those that don't know, it's basically a lot now about the cage. It's going to start with 2 men. After an interval of time, another person on the Order 4 will come in. Then vice versa with the system until all 10 people are involved in the hardcore war. The only way this thing ends via pinfall or submission inside the ring. Anything goes. It is no certification, and it does not officially start until all 10 participants are fully involved in the match. As we just saw on TNA Wrestling, I'm going to be referencing a lot of that, like I said, literally moments ago, it was Mustafa Ali and JDC. It was the final chance for either side to gain momentum, despite the fact Order 4 already has the advantage in this hardcore war opportunity. At the end of it all, Agent Zero hit JDC, got involved with a choke bomb on the apron. Damn it. And Ali followed with a 450 splash to win. However, the system finally got the better of the Order 4, bringing weapons into play and making the Order 4 retreat. So keep that in mind. That was the final angle before this, but the heels have the advantage. So let's see who you all believe wins hardcore war. Is TNA still ruled and trust in the system, or has the Order 4 taken control? Let's start with Emmanuel here with this. Emmanuel, who you got winning hardcore war, the system or the Order 4?
I think the system is going to take this, to be honest. They somehow, some way neutralize Agent Zero because that's the key to victory. If
That's
Agent
exactly.
Zero just takes control of the match, like Order 4 is going to win the hands down. So the system has to find a way to neutralize Agent Zero, expect a high bump or him getting handcuffed in the steel cage. Like you need to neutralize in some way somehow, and hopefully the system wins. If I'm wrong, then somehow, some way, my strategy, Agent Zero is going to snap the handcuffs off the cage. It won't be the first time my wrestler breaks out handcuffs. So
we don't truly know what Agent Zero is capable of, and that's the dangerous thing.
Yeah. So for my pick is it makes sense. Like the system will win and get their victory from the previous match that Moose lost.
All right, fair enough. Well, Walter, as long as we've covered TNA since it was brought back to life by those letters at Bound for Glory literally 2 years ago, can you believe that? The system have truly been taking control of TNA, but they've also fought strictly for TNA. So it is one of those things where I almost wonder how many times we thought the system was going to fail, was going to shut down, it's been rebooted. And as we learned, it wasn't Moose that started the faction, it was Eddie Edwards. But Moose was the guy that held the TNA World Championship after being Alex Shelley for it for a hell of a dominant 6+ months. So what do you think here? Before you discuss that, coming in here, I don't know whether it's just to continue on or real quick. He gave a little welcome earlier. Please welcome in the Sleepy Dit team, the Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams. JJ, how are you?
I am doing well, sir. I just clocked off work, so I figured I would hop in here and join the festivities wherever you were.
Well, welcome to the fray. We're discussing Hardcore War. I was passing it off to Walter Cruz, and I'll pass it off to you. And again, thank you so much for your support in this as well. And that lovely intro. Of course, you've also made Sleepy Predicting very possible with its evolution over time. It's been a pleasure not only predicting, but covering wrestling with you as always, and may it continue.
Thank you. Before you give it back to Walter, I have one question. Have you already talked about the Hardys and the Devils?
No.
Perfect. Okay. That's the match I wanted to discuss the most. So
you'll be laying that off when I set the code opener for it. It is still to come. Right now, Walter, it's on you, brother. Hardcore War, the system or the Order 4? Who do you got?
Well, look, damn it. I keep going against the system. We keep being wrong. So I have to stop that shit. I got to go with the system. Like, now watch them lose just because I went with them now. But I gotta go with the system, damn it, because it keeps biting me in the ass like me going against them.
It's also true, ironically enough. All right. So he has the system. He trusts the system. So far, we got two people trusting the system. Charles, excuse me. Well, JJ, you're next, like I said. Again, you have said verbatim that you don't trust the system, but Order 4, then the newest faction on the campaign here in TNA. We saw Mustafa Ali take it all Eagle Ethan Page. He did win the night against JDC by dubious means, and Agent Zero has been their ace in the hole. It's been the system's undoing. I figure if they neutralize that, though, that's what the system needs to do to get the win and prove why they are still the most dominant faction in modern-day TNA history. But what do you think?
As you pointed out, I have had an issue trusting the system since the beginning.
Yeah.
Mainly because in real life, I don't trust the system. So to see the system portrayed in my fake wrestling program, like if I can't trust them in real life, why would I trust a group of wrestlers calling them that? However, on the flip side of the coin, from the jump, in Ali, I have trusted. And especially since he brought the then good, now great hands into the fold before he left and came back. Because I know you will remember this, Noah, and have my back. I have been a fan of the good, now great hands since I first saw them.
That's correct. Jason Hodge and John Scott.
Same with Sinner and Saint, now the Northern Armory. Something about those two teams captivated me. So for the great hands to be associated with Ali, for Ali to have had the performance he had this past Tuesday, despite not capturing the North American Championship. Damn you, Ethan Page. In Ali, I trust once again. I am not going to win until Ali gives me a reason not to trust him. I will never trust the system. I don't care if they're on the way to being good guys or even are full-blown good guys, because keep in mind, I haven't really been able to watch the weekly product. The last time I watched, they were on the road to being baby faces from heels, especially with this invasion angle, but I don't know if they made the full turn yet.
Well, that's one of those things where you may not be babyface, you may not be heel, but you are brand loyal, and that's what the system have been regardless, sporting the red and yellow since it came back to life. But that being said, we got our first one that doesn't trust the system. JJ chose the Order 4, and so far, he has the all one out before I give it to Charles, because I can't believe I'm saying this. I do trust the system. At the end of the day, I got to go with the TNA faithful, and you also got to look at the fact that this is kind of still a babyface faction versus a heel faction. Now, the system have gone at respect with the TNA faithful for representing TNA, even under dubious means of their past history. But time heals all wounds, and respect is earned when you hold faithful to what's true to us, and that is TNA wrestling. After fending off Retribution at one point and also fighting on behalf of TNA, not to mention Moose was involved as a Survivor winner in the Men's Survivor Series match on NXT Showdown. It's just one of those things right now where I feel like the system is not done yet. And while we're talking about Joe Hendry's future possibly being in NXT, we're not talking about anybody in the system, Moose particularly, his future being outside TNA. I also look at the absolute accolades of the system. Like I said, Brian Myers of the Evers, former two-time TNA Tag Team Champions. Alicia Everett, former TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champion. And, of course, Moose faced the franchise Grand Slam Champion practically pretty much here in TNA Wrestling. At this point, I'm just waiting for him versus Agent 011 after that headbutt to the heart stopped Moose dead in his tracks. Plus, the system are coming in here as the underdogs. It's hardcore war. The Order 4 have the advantage of the one-upsmanship per man. So I think the system is going to prove to us once again why we should trust them. And I think more people are going to trust them, including me. I have the system winning here at Bound for Glory. So it is 3 systems, 1 order. Charles, close things out. Do you trust the system or do you go with the Order 4?
Yeah. I have been joining JJ over here, trusting Ali for a while. I expect the Order 4 to win this. And as far as the system goes, and faces go, Moose has been the more one that's been more accepted as a face since Slammiversary, compared to the other members of the group. Which is probably why I still expect Moose to get exiled from the system, probably on this night.
Might also be why he was part of Team TNA this past Tuesday and the rest of the system was nowhere to be found.
Exactly. Because literally Moose is... He's been more babyface than anything else as compared to the other members.
Yeah, true that. He even got his old theme back, to your point. The
Literally, it's like...
Stands on his own.
Moose is going to get exiled from the system. It's only a matter of when. Not if, but when. And it's going to be at Bound for Glory when the Order 4 wins.
All right, we'll see if you're true. Of course, Bound for Glory, again, the TNA League continues. There are 2 shows left after Bound for Glory before the league ends. That is Turning Point and Fire Resolution. And shout out to Ashley and Charles and Christopher Rouse that are holding it down in first place, as me and Colin of Team NoDQ are shortly right behind them, and figured everybody that has been participating. Walter, you need to pick things up as least if you're going to beat JJ. And JJ, pretty good job for your first time in the TNA League. So keep on going, guys. All right, so let's go ahead.
As the pun guy, you got to say Moose is going to get booted from the system. Come on, man.
Damn it. Hey, I left the pun for you specifically. I was not going to take your thing there, Walter. I left it for you.
Hey, Walter, you freaking idiot. JJ has his hand before we move on. JJ, what you got to say real quick?
I don't want to go through everything we've already done, but what have you done as far as Bound for Glory so far? And I'll just give my quick picks on those so we can be caught up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I welcome that. We talked about the TNA Hall of Famers, Mickie James and the Beautiful People, and the only match in the countdown, the Inspiration versus the Elegance brand, 1 week later. And we talked about the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, where I gave everybody 2 picks.
The Inspiration are going to retain.
Good man.
I do like the Elegance brand. You know I like the Elegance brand, but with Ash having to surrender her title and pretty much quit the business, I don't see the Elegance brand continuing too much without her. Like, they're either going to have a split up and go their own separate ways, or they will rebrand themselves as some different team name, at which point they may reclaim the titles. But they're gonna have to get away from the branding of Elegance with no Ash. The Call Your Shot Gauntlet.
Good luck.
Yeah, seriously, that's always a crapshoot of who enters.
I'll tell you this, JJ, just to give you a little bit of leverage. People who entered in the qualifier determined number 1 and number 20, included not limited to Matt Cardona, the Hometown Man, Killer Kelly, Layleen Lee, Zaya.
Okay. You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that name, because I've been wanting to be on a TNA panel for a minute.
Been a moment.
Just so I can rant a little bit about the Hometown Man.
Oh no!
What was the point of Diener winning that match, where if he lost, he had to retire if he was going to become the Hometown Man? That's a gimmick for a person who would have lost that match. But he won to keep his career. That is fucking stupid. Look, I'm all about the obvious masked wrestler that we all know who it is for the ha-ha, Mr. America, Juan Cena, El Grande Americano even. I'm all about the ha-ha gimmick. I can deal with it. But he won the match to keep his career and then rebranded himself like he lost the match. What the fuck? If anything, do both gimmicks simultaneously, like they were doing with Americano. And then maybe you could build to where Cody Diener had to fight the Hometown Man. And then who's going to be the Hometown Man? But whole him being the Hometown Man when he won the match to keep his job is fucking retarded.
To be fair, I don't.
No. There is nothing you're going to say that's going to defend this. Nothing you're going to be able to say.
I want to say botch because it was Cody Deaner that lost to Eric Young and lost his TNA career. The hometown man showed up a week later and hasn't lost the match yet.
He won the match.
No, he lost. Cody Deaner lost to Eddie Edwards in a career-threatening match. That's why he was fired. You botched.
I could have sworn he won that match.
Nope. Eddie Edwards won, and he literally humiliated him that night to the point of all people.
Grant retracted then because I could have sworn he won.
Nope.
Damn it.
Nope. Literally, let me bring you up to speed as I am TNA faithful. In a night, I believe it was actually at either Under Siege or Against All Odds. It was Eddie Edwards versus Cody Deaner for Cody Deaner's career in Cody Deaner's hometown. He lost and was humiliated by the system afterwards. And then they insulted all of Canada because, again, we're from America. We're superior. Blah, 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 blah.
Like I said, I remember everything you said, but I could have sworn he won the match.
Nope, but the hometown man has won every match since showing up the following week. He's won in Phoenix. He's won in Alberta, Canada. He's won in Chicago. Or I don't think it was Chicago. I'm not sure where the other show was. But the hometown man, since he showed up, since Cody Deaner's has not lost a match, including against Ryan.
My apologies then, because I could have sworn he won that.
Nope, he lost. It's okay.
Which is why I was so peeved about it, because it was like, what's the point of this? He won.
Nope, Cody Deaner is long gone. He lost. Never show up again.
Well, I'll make my picks for the gauntlet after I see what else is on the card, because I don't think they're going to double book anybody, especially with the partnership with NXT. I'm sure there'll be some NXT representation in there. So
you'll see the hometown man. You'll likely see the Rascals who aren't booked. Layling Lee is number 1. Vance Warner is the final entrant, number 20.
Okay.
Just to give some food for thought. Killer Kelly might be involved in it. Rosemary, Myron Reed, people that aren't booked in any other match are very likely to be on this. And some people here in the previous predictions even pointed out some talent from your NXT that could be involved in this. So just to give you some food for thought.
I think there'll be some NXT representation. If Cardona's in it, I wouldn't be surprised to see Briggs in it ahead of their match next week.
Ding.
Just so that they can get something. I honestly, and maybe I'm the only person that wants to see this, but somehow I want to see Cardona and Briggs develop into a Briggs and Jensen reunion, and then do Cardona and Myers versus Briggs and Jensen.
Weird.
That way you can get the former Edgeheads, the major players together on WWE television.
Fair.
Taking on Briggs and Jensen.
If
we can get the Jurassic Express back together, we could get the major players back, damn it.
That valid point. We also talked about Eric Young, who did beat Joe Hendry with a pile driver and a low blow in a no disqualification match on TNA Impact as well. So there are also 2 people that might be involved. Of course, Joe Hendry, previous entrant as well in the Call Your Shot gauntlet. And I also talked about Killer Kelly and Tim Paxley having a unique first-time confrontation. So, just give you some food for thought. Hell, Myron Reed, after his incredible match with Edwards championship. So just give you some food for thought. And then, of course, we honored Mickie James and the beautiful people as they're going to the TNA Hall of Fame. And that's for free for everybody to watch.
Women.
Damn right. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time across all TNA social media platforms. Before we continue with the card, anything you want to say real quick regarding the beautiful people or Mickie James?
Nah, I'll save that for a later date. Like I said, just 3 very deserving women. They really helped establish and elevate the Knockouts division when divas were dominating the other company.
Accurate. All right. Fair enough. Well, thank you for all that. I think that brings you up to speed as we now move into our next match. And oh, wait, that's right, Charles. I did see you had a hand up real quick. So let's go ahead and get back on track here. What you got to say real quick before we move on? As again, for those that are wondering, we just talked about Hardcore War as well. It is 4 in favor of the system, 1 in favor of the order.
That's why it was both one favor. Both JJ and I were going with the order 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. Again,
But as far as JJ's point, JJ was going on that rant before he retracted. That's probably a good thing you corrected him though, because JJ was just like, I went with the hometown man to win the Cody shot gauntlet, and I probably would have got yelled at by you. He did get retracted.
It's like the hometown. Jake Something should win this freaking thing. I want Jake Something to become a champion.
But look, I did at least say my second pick at least was all with family, so I at least redeemed myself on that occasion.
Fair enough. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Are we all good now, everybody? Everyone good here? So, excuse me. 2 for the order 4, 3 for the system, and a whole lot of crazy talk. And JJ now knows Cody Dieter no longer exists. Hometown man showed up afterwards. I wonder if he's related to Cody Dieter at all. So there you go. And Hometown man's undefeated. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Jesus. Good Lord, that guy.
I love how you could buy into the Hometown Diener logic separated, but you can't do Americano and freaking
Yeah.
Yes,
Walter.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
it's under the mask. No, I didn't say I bought into it. Do you not see the similarity? I put out a question. You fucking idiots. All right, let's move on here. You're going to make me rant about mass wrestlers that aren't.
You already ranted enough. We're good.
From Nacho Libre and Monagenic.
He's still
All
not
right.
Chad Gable. Chad Gable's out with an injury, and I've been seeing a whole lot more.
Yeah, and Ludwig Kaiser and Pete Dunne are reduced to this bullshit. Do you want to piss me off more? Go ahead.
Don't forget Tyler Bate.
Yeah, that is true.
You know what?
El Grande British Wrestling.
Careful, Noah, you'll turn into another meme.
I think he already has tonight. That's what we're talking about.
I'm not going to turn into a nuclear bombshell because Tessa Blanchard already is that, because Tessa Blanchard might be looking towards this match, because believe it or not, guys, look at this one-on-one we're going to talk about next. Tessa Blanchard's going one-on-one with me and Gia Miller. Gia Miller's first ever match in TNA wrestling. Yes, folks, this is legitimate. Let's talk about this grudge match a little bit. Tessa Blanchard versus Gia Miller. First time ever, one-on-one. We know how this all picked off from. After Tessa Blanchard lost to Indi Hartwell at Slammiversary, Tessa Blanchard fucking lost it and attacked Indi after the fact as Gia was trying to separate them. And Gia Miller got assaulted as well, as Tessa Blanchard was suspended indefinitely by Diretta alla Forte, Santino Marella. However, Gia Miller asked for Tessa Blanchard's suspension to be lifted on one condition. If Tessa touched her again, she would kick her ass, remind her exactly who Gia Miller is. Gia and Tessa actually go very far back. There is actually some history with these two, but never in the ring. And for those that watch Wrestling Revolver, Gia Miller is far more than just a backstage interviewer. I'm just fucking saying. But in TNA world, this is her TNA in-ring debut and her first ever one-on-one encounter with Tessa Blanchard. What almost feels like Gia is sending herself to the slaughterhouse against the undeniable Diamond. Gia Miller is a woman that is going to show how mean and how legit she is if you fuck with her, as she looks to not win but beat the shit out of Tessa Blanchard, much to hopefully everyone's surprise and everyone's delight here at Bound for Glory. So that being said, let's see if you give Gia Miller a chance against the former TNA World Champion. Gia, good luck. You're going to need it. That being said, let's start off with Walter this time. Walter, what do you think about this unique singles exhibition? Tessa Blanchard, Gia Miller. Tessa Blanchard's first match back, of course, since suspension after losing her last singles match, might I add, to Indi Hartwell at Slammiversary. Here we are at the next big pay-per-view, the biggest pay-per-view of the year now, Bound for Glory. Does Tessa get her win back? He might have fell asleep. Or he might have gone Liaki.
No. I'm here. Yeah. Yeah, it's her debut. She better not lose her debut. So I'll go with Gia.
All right. Wow. What? Wait a minute. Did he just say he went with Gia Miller?
Yep.
Okay. Well, crazier things have happened, I suppose. Charles, let's go to you next. Let's see if you offset that. Do you go with Gia Miller or Tessa Blanchard? Wow.
I love how it's kind of funny. Walter did what I was gonna do. I am going with Gia Miller to win this.
Okay, then.
That's all I gotta say on that.
Besides,
Tessa can recover from this anyway, so it's like no big deal at the end of the day.
Well, I do think it's more of a proving ground, though, more than anything. For those that don't know, by the way, the last time Gia Miller was in the ring was 2024 in April in the LPW promotion in a singles match. She has shared the ring with Alicia Edwards. You all might, of course, recognize her. Eddie Edwards, Ace Austin. Well, Ace Austin, more familiarity, of course. The virtuosa, Deanna Purrazzo, Rosemary, but she's only been legitimately involved in 22 matches at the age of 27 in her 5-year wrestling career, trained by George South of the George South Pro Wrestling School. Again, keyword mean. I'm just curious how mean Gia Miller can be when, honestly, we're dealing with the most mean girl in the wrestling business, and she doesn't give a fuck if you like her or not. But okay, that being said, 2 Gia Millers. I'm quite surprised by that. JJ, think about this. Gia Miller and Indi Hartwell, great friends. But Indi Hartwell's got to focus. She's got to try to bring the TNA Knockouts World Championship home. Still yet to be discussed. However, we know Tessa Blanchard has, unfortunately, that Crawford chick is probably her corner. And it's probably going to be a handicap here. And I fucking hate to think she's going to get involved here probably on her behalf. So that being said, why Walter apparently went solo because he's probably barfing. JJ, what do you think about this? That was weird. What the hell? What do you think about this?
No, I'm on mobile and I accidentally touched something. I don't know what the hell.
I thought I said Walter changed his picture again just to piss off Noah.
Botch. JJ, what do you think about this unique singles match? Tessa Blanchard, Gia Miller. What do you think?
I think there's 3 going for Mean Gia Miller.
What the hell?
Okay, look at it like this, bro. To Walter's point, this is Gia's TNA debut as far as a wrestler. How many people lose their debut match? 1. 2. Tessa, granted, she's been given a second chance by TNA, but there's a lot of people, fans included, that resent the fact that Tessa is back in a major promotion.
Accurate.
Her jobbing to Mean Gia will make her look a little bit better. Like, she's here to do the right thing. She's here to help put people over. She's not just immediately reclaiming the Knockouts title or going after the world title.
That's fair.
She's being humbled, so to speak. And if Tessa can put on a good match with Mean Gia and put her over, the ultimate goal, I'm sure, for Tessa is to get the call to join in on NXT. WWE has currently said, if rumors are to be believed, that Tessa Blanchard will not touch their television screen. However, a job to Gia Miller might make her a little bit more desirable, because if she's willing to put over a backstage interviewer, she'd be more willing to put over some of the NXT talent.
All right, I see y'all's point, but at the end of the day, I also just look at it like this. Gia Miller is not becoming a professional wrestler. She's a backstage interviewer and sometimes a commentator on Explosion. This is a one-time spot for her to beat the shit out of Tessa Blanchard, I think.
Maybe.
I think. So
Vince McMahon entering the Royal Rumble was a one-time thing. Then he became the oldest WWF champion, former ECW champion, WrestleMania matches, Hell, he fought God in a tag team match.
Don't get me started on that.
And God walked out on his partner.
You know, there's a reason that I really chastise WWE, and you just remind me even more why I really don't give a fuck about that.
JJ's not wrong.
There's a lot of people that started out as one-shot deals. You know, how many matches did Eric Bischoff have? How many matches did Vince Russo have?
Okay, well, bro, we don't talk about that, bro, because that was just bullshit.
Okay, but I'm making a point here. Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon. Were any of them supposed to be full-time wrestlers?
JR a couple of times, or Jerry Lawler.
Forced by the general manager, all right? And I look at Miller differently because she's an interviewer, not a billionaire, not a general manager.
Okay. Maria Kanellis was a backstage interviewer. How many matches has she had?
Rhea Kanellis became a fucking wrestler. She was a diva.
Okay, but she was a backstage interviewer for a long time.
Either way, this is TNA, not WWE. And all those names you mentioned, not a single one of them was TNA that went into wrestler. The only one that ever did that was the freaking son of Eric Bischoff. And we saw what happened with him at Ace of the Eight, so we don't talk about that. Either way, TNA is not WWE. Gia Miller is not Tessa Blanchard. A wrestler and an interviewer sounds like a one-off, beat the shit out of you to prove some respect. I just don't see Gia Miller going away from what she's been dedicated to since resigning to TNA Wrestling as a correspondent. At the end of the day, she's looking to get a pound of flesh, try to beat some respect out of Tessa Blanchard. I hope she beats the shit out of her, but I just don't see her winning. I get the points, and I respect that.
But what if part of the terms of her new deal was the occasional match?
I'll see it when I believe it. I think it's a one-off, and I'm going with my verdict, and there's a reason why I'm ahead of you in that league anyway. So
don't forget
Miller for the win.
Don't forget.
What?
And Datilla, I sent you the link, darling. So you have it in both inboxes if you want it.
I sent her the link at the very beginning because, of course, TNA faithful.
I was gonna say, don't forget, Tessa has burned so many bridges. Anybody could just screw her over to embarrass her.
Exactly. And like I said, that'll help her look better in the eyes of the fans. All the fans that shit on her, chanting she's a racist, will pop for joy if Gia wins.
And, well, either way, they'll still hold that against her because people can't forget or move on or forgive. But either way, I got Tessa Blanchard, hook and by crook, with Victoria Crawford winning. And as far as what happens with Gia afterwards, respect. Doesn't happen again. Focus on your job. And maybe Tessa actually does show a little bit of, Jesus Christ, you hell vixen bitch. Leave me alone. I already beat you once. Leave me alone. I just, like I said, Tessa right now, there's a reason why she's back. Like you said, she doesn't have to be involved in the championship to prove that she is the best right now above everybody else, according to her MO, because Lord knows she still thinks she's all that in a bag of chips. And the credentials speak for themselves. But I got Gia Miller beating Tessa Blanchard up, but not getting the decision. And at the end of the day, all Gia wants to do is beat Tessa up. And this could also be a disqualification. Might I add, this is a normal match, not gimmick. Tessa Blanchard wins regardless. All right, so I'm the R1 out for the first time. Not the first time that shit's happened. But still, I like the unique conversation.
I never went.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That went off the rails in a hurry. All right.
Yeah.
Nice job, Noah.
Well, when I deal with multi-conversation, WWE's brought into a TNA conversation because Lord knows how I feel about that company. You kind of get me a little bit offside. Then again, this is what Sleeping Dinner becomes, and that's why I fries for 150 episodes. Here's 150 more of these episodes where you all piss me off. But anyway, Emmanuel, go ahead. What do you guys say here? Gia, Tessa, what are you?
I'm about to say Tessa Blanchard because I'm not familiar with Gia Miller. To be honest, like I've never seen her wrestle or anything like that. But I compare with JJ's argument. The only person that had one up and who actually won, it was the worst WrestleMania match of all time. Jarrett the King Lawler versus Michael Cole. Yes.
Michael Cole has had more than one match.
What,
You're right.
And he's undefeated.
I hate.
But I have to agree with you, though. Like if an announcer could get a win over a wrestler, it's like, what does that tell you about the wrestler? Like, that's my only mentality right there. Like, so Tessa has to win it because someone has to help neutralize Tesla, like, after the match, because I think she's going to still beat her up.
Oh, I guarantee you she's going to try to. I guarantee you that.
Yeah. So if Gia's going to be a full-time, like part-time, like once in a while wrestler, I guess you could say Gia will win, but it's like, I don't see it. Like, it's like, for me, it's like seeing Kathy Kelly in a wrestling match. It's not going to happen. I don't see her winning any of the current women roster wrestlers.
Kathy Kelly will be a manager before she ever be a wrestler. All right, and she that one for Survivor. She is a freaking manager.
Yeah, so I just give you an example. Like if that's how we get book things. Like, I don't see it.
All right, fair enough. Well, as we close the book on this, 2 Tessas, 1 Gia, teleporting in for the command center. You saw me rage with her at Rages of Wrestling regarding NXT versus TNA. It is, of course, Datilla. Hello, Datilla. How are you?
Hey, no, I'm actually really, really tired. Just got home from Disneyland not too long ago, so.
Well, that will always burn a person out, let alone your wallet. God bless you. But hey, welcome to City Editing, and thank you for joining me as we're talking about Bound for Glory. And we're about to close the book on Tessa Blanchard and Gia Miller. It is 3 Gias, 2 Tessas. What do you think about this singles grudge?
This could be an interesting matchup for sure. I've never seen Gia wrestle. Like, I've never seen one of her matches. I know she does wrestle. And before Ace Austin left and Chris Bay got hurt, she was managing ABC.
Yep.
So this is going to be an interesting bout for sure. I think Gia's going to surprise us all. I think that Gia should win this because, you know, like, what is us again from winning this? So I gotta go with Gia.
All right. I mean, again, what does Gia gain in winning this if she's not going to continue to be a wrestler? I mean, hell, has anyone else been a backstage interviewer in TNA wrestling besides her during this modern regime? Hell, before TNA was brought back to life, that's all another conversation. So, again, I see y'all's points, but at the end of the day, Gia and Tessa on paper, don't see that. She'll survive Tessa, and Tessa will kick her ass. But I just don't see the decision going to Gia. Unless disqualification. I just see Gia trying to beat up Tessa, and I'm sure she's going to show how mean she can be, but there's nobody meaner in this business right now than Tessa Blanchard, in my opinion, just saying. All right, fair enough. I respect that take. Well, that was an interesting thought. Let's go ahead and move on from one of the biggest a-holes to one of the biggest clowns. Let's talk about this rematch as Frankie Kazarian defends the TNA International Championship against Steve Maclin. And once again, it's one of those situations where we literally are doing a rematch just after he won it, after that idiot from the freaking AAA promotion, Imancias, so whatever the fuck his name is, cost Steve Maclin the match against Frankie Kazarian at Victory Road. We, of course, saw Kazarian fight on TNA's behalf, got eliminated at freaking NXT Showdown, and now he's defending his TNA National Championship against Steve Maclin, the Punisher, the inaugural TNA National Champion, since this title was established back in April at Unbreakable. Of course, Kazarian does not own a victory over Steve Maclin outside of Victory Road. So we'll see how quick Maclin tries to tag and bag Kazarian before Kazarian can actually prove to be the king internationally of TNA wrestling. Straight up, folks, again, this match was legitimately made tonight as the rematch. All right, there's no other backstory than that. But the only other thing you got to consider, does that idiot from AAA get involved here again and cost Steve Maclin for whatever reason? The title, since you just arrived, why don't you go ahead and kick things off here? Does Steve Maclin get this title back already? Or does Kazarian retain?
I can't believe you keep disrespecting the king of TNA.
Still Prince, not the king until he actually wins the world title, which likely would never happen. He already botched the Shaw Rebellion. Continue.
You're disrespecting Frankie in front of JJ?
He already knows where I stand.
Of course, I have to give the victory to the king of TNA, Frankie Kazarian. Like, he just won that title. There's no way he's gonna drop it back so quickly.
I'm almost wondering why the hell are you doing these title matches, let alone this, so damn quickly at Bound for Glory? Like, why? Simon Miller, why? What the fuck? But okay, fair enough. Now, again, there's 6 of us. I don't think no one's going to be stupid enough to say Steve Maclin's going to win the title immediately, even with my bias. I know a championship's value. I know the word transitional when it actually matters and makes sense, and when it doesn't. Is there one crazy iota here that thinks Steve Maclin is going to win back the TNA International Championship?
We're all looking at you, Emmanuel.
Going once, going twice. Charles!
Sorry.
What?
But, well, actually, I only did that just because I was going to say this.
Go ahead.
One, yeah, Frankie is going to retain, but Macias is going to interfere again. Because he ain't losing cleanly. Because there has to be a reason why Macias is to show back up at TNA after all these years, going at the Steve Maclin of all people. Unless it's a secret build to a Worlds Collide with TNA and NXT and AAA.
I mean, we already saw Laredo Kid prove at Worlds Collide. Of course, he's no longer part of TNA. So again, you're not too far ruled off if that does become the case. So
What they should have did was have Messiah interfere in the match, not change the title, let Steve Maclin keep it, have Messiah win the call your shot, and then win after the international title after Steve Maclin and win it. That's what they should have did.
that's a fair point. And also, to Walter's point, Mesias could be one of those people that shows up in the call your shot gauntlet again. So again, we don't know who else is truly. We don't know truly the field in it. We just know number 1 and number 20. Period.
Hopefully, this year's is a lot better than last year's, because last year's, yeah.
I saw it live. It was very underwhelming. I completely agree with you. I still say Jake Something should be one of the people to win.
Something!
Damn it, I want that man to be a champion. All right. And
The
of course,
fact that he's been in TNA this long and hasn't been a champion is, I don't know what's the word, appropriate word for that.
The Mesias guy aside, Jake Something was feuding with Steve Maclin over this championship. No, we're not overkilling a gimmick. Was feuding with Maclin over this championship and freaking Team Kazarian at one point against him. What the hell? Anyway. All right. That's
all I have to say. He would be something of a champion.
All right. Let's not start a game where you say this word and freaking people say it all the time and people take a drink. All right. That's enough. I said Kyle enough
We're
times.
We're taking a drink?
Tuesday. Well, I got Mountain Dew. No, we're not. It's after hours, but we're about to say it's after hours. But let's be smart here. All right, people. All right. Moving on.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. And someone's racing away Margaritaville. Non-copyright. All right, moving on. That being said, that was the easiest match of the night. What the hell? What a throwaway. All right, let's move on now to matches that actually matter. Here we freaking
go. Matches that actually matter?
I think this one does matter, considering how much Indi Hartwell put Kelani Jordan underneath her wing when Indi Hartwell was in NXT. As Indi Hartwell challenges Kelani Jordan. Notice the little NXT logo, by the way. Just saying. Just raises my ire. Kelani Jordan defends the TNA Knockouts World Championship against Indi Hartwell. Indi Hartwell, of course, who earned this opportunity, winning a Knockouts Gauntlet, and then, of course, defending her opportunity, beating Jody Fred and Danny Luna in a triple threat match. As we saw during the contract signing, both women have huge respect to each other. And, of course, the task at hand, Kelani Jordan failed to captain the TNA Knockouts NXT talent, basically to beat the NXT up to date. Of course, as we saw, Kelani Jordan was the last one eliminated after Soruka snatched her, and Jessie Jane stole the advantage, as she did. This failed influence is getting on my last fucking nerve. As Kelani Jordan is looking back at what Hartwell did for her, she promises to show her she is not the same girl that she once was. We've seen the glow from Kelani Jordan. We've seen the evolution of Indi Hartwell. The heart won't quit. Kelani can't do anything. Both of them are out to prove a point. But more importantly, Kelani Jordan is looking to show that she can be a leader, a trailblazer to elevate the Knockouts World Championship. While Indi Hartwell knows the importance of this match in not only bringing the title home, but winning the TNA Knockouts World Championship for the first time ever, looking to become the Knockout. This is one of those matches that I do think on paper, I would say go either way, but again, I look at the trope of she just freaking won it. But Indi Hartwell right now, she's kind of been, becoming into her own as part of the TNA Knockouts division. And I do think it would be cool for her to get this moment of Bound for Glory, but what does that do to Kelani Jordan in the long haul, considering right now in NXT, she might well be irrelevant. So let's go ahead and get y'all's thoughts towards this. I'm a little bit torn, and I'm going to respect this match, but I don't know if I'm going to enjoy the decision. I'm just going to say that right now. Until that, ladies first, I will start with you. What do you think about the TNA Knockouts World Championship, Kelani Jordan, Indi Hartwell?
Well, I think this is going to be a good match, first of all, number one. But I think that Kelani Jordan needs to retain here. Not only just because she won the title, but had this been Ash, I could definitely see Indi taking the title, but because it's babyface and babyface, I feel like Jordan should retain, and she's probably going to retain. This is either going to be a clean finish or a dirty finish, and by dirty finish, I mean probably Danny Luna would get involved in this match because I'm sure that she wouldn't want Indi Hartwell to be champion before her.
That's fair. That's
so
fair.
So I pick Kelani Jordan to retain. Because I think that eventually Danny Luna would be the one to dethrone her. And then you have Indi take the title off of Danny Luna.
Yeah, the typical heel versus babyface. Babyface finally wins in the end, achieves the moment. Okay, that's fair. Well, just put this out there. We did see, of course, the Champions Trio Summit back literally last month, where Indi Hartwell, Leon Slater, and Matt Hardy did beat Frank Kazarian, Kelani Jordan, and Trick Williams. So there's also that as well. But as far as Indi Hartwell goes, the momentum is neutral on both sides, I would think, at this point for both individuals. And Kelani Jordan is coming off her loss back in NXT literally just this past Tuesday. So she's going to here with a bruised ego and even more of a point to prove. So I respect that take. That being said, Attila has hit the ballot for Indi Hartwell to not win here and Kelani Jordan to retain and maybe set up the future of the TNA Knockouts Championship as we know it. Let's go from TNA to his NXT, considering the girl literally represents his brand. JJ, Kelani Jordan, first defense as the TNA Knockouts World Champion since Indi counted the 3 against Layling Lee at Victory Road, but also come off that loss at NXT Showdown. What do you think about this match, and who do you have leaving with the gold?
My thing about it is this. It's not beyond the realm of possibility for Kelani to put Indi over.
Correct.
But if Indi was going to win it, why didn't she just get the belt when Ash had to surrender? Unless they wanted to make her at their WrestleMania. There are quite a few people that have been getting big moments in this, despite being on the TNA side of things. A lot of people just want to dwell on the, NXT's taking all the titles. Nobody wants to talk about and look at the fact that Ash became a world champion for the first time since crossing over by winning on NXT. Indi Hartwell is a former world champion, technically, because she has been NXT champion, even though it's not recognized as a world title. But she never got beaten.
Nope.
She had to surrender it when she got called up and she was injured. As weird as it may sound, I could see Indi taking this. I'm going with Indi Hartwell.
Oh, wow. Okay. I like that outlook. Well, I mean, again, last year, Charles, at Bound for Glory, it was Masha Slamovich that beat Jordan Grace for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. So the title has changed hands at Bound for Glory. So again, Indi Hartwell is also former NXT talent, but she is a TNA knockout. And also, Kelani Jordan is trying to prove that I have grown since you last mentored me. Let's not forget, Kelani Jordan literally is as fresh as a daisy in wrestling. Indi Hartwell is not. Kelani Jordan did not get involved in wrestling before coming out of the NIL program into NXT. Now she holds the cornerstone of women's professional wrestling, practically as we've known it since 2008, the TNA Knockouts World Championship. So that being said, it's 1-on-1 so far. I'm very intrigued by this. So Charles, what do you think?
Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, I'm just going to simply put, no pun intended, to you, Noah. Attila is right on this one. I'm also going with Kelani retaining the championship, only to drop it to then, and that's when Indi gets the belt. Indi ain't getting the belt Bound for Glory.
All right, fair enough.
Because everything got flipped on its head once Ash vacated the belt.
Yeah, I really do think they had to literally pivot course direction when Ash abruptly had to leave professional wrestling, let alone had to drop the belt. Again, all the best to Ashley Sinemby. All right, so that being said, to Kelani, 1 Indi. All right, Emmanuel, again, Indi Hartwell, she's looking to become the knockout. This is TNA's biggest stage to do it, Bound for Glory. But she hasn't even been involved here for I think even half a year yet, because she, of course, signed on the dotted line at Rebellion back in April. So we're just a little bit under 6 months since she's been a TNA knockout. So would they really push her this soon? While, by the way, she is still House of Glory Women's Champion, I believe, might I add, and another champion in a different promotion. So again, the heart won't quit, but the heart is also very busy. What do you think, Emmanuel? Do you have a new TNA Knockouts World Champion this soon? Or does Kelani Jordan prove her value?
I don't know. This is a real tough one, to be honest.
Yeah, it is kind of.
Because I get the Taylor's point of view. Danny Luna probably going to interfere, and that's how Indi loses her opportunity for the title. I can see Jason's point of view. Because Kelani Jordan doesn't really need the TNA knockout title, to be honest. Like, if they're gonna, like, I don't know who you put her against, to be honest. Like, do you put her against Tessa? I mean, do you put her against Danny Luna? Like, I don't, like, the heel side for the knockouts is really slim. Like, for top contenders wise, like, it's really limited, to be honest. They really need to develop more heels that way. Like, unless they get the Elegant brands to break up and the both heels, like, that's the only other way I can see them rest at them. So I'm calling a new champion, like Indi Hartwell, was going to win this, like, somehow, some way, because, like, they've been building her up really well.
Mm-hmm.
They see a real promise with her. There's a reason why she hasn't lost a match yet. And Kelani, like, can't afford the loss, to be honest. Like, she really can't. And it doesn't really hurt her at all, because I don't know why they put her in the evasion, or whatever you want to call the NXT show programming from last night, why she was the head captain for TNA. That just still doesn't make sense in the long run.
She was captain because she's a knockouts champion, just for that reason.
So is Trick Williams, but he wasn't captain of the TNA.
Storyline wise, it makes sense why Trick Williams wasn't captain of Team Trick and A.
That guy don't care about TNA or NXT. He only cares about himself. He's not brand loyal.
He was co-captain.
I know, but it doesn't make sense, because, like, Kelani just very came like TNA. Like you just go. Oh, okay, we trust her. No, like it doesn't make sense.
Well, to be fair, she was also the only NXT representative in that out of nowhere knockouts gauntlet that won the opportunity in the first place. And Indi Hartwell was the one that counted the 3 count. And I'm sure Layleen Lee, who's number 1 the Call Your Shot gauntlet, has not forgotten.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a close one. Like it could go either way, but the money is where Indi Hartwell, Kelani. For me, I don't think she's heavyweight champion material. She's not there yet, in my opinion. But it is what it is. She's now the world champion, woman world champion. So.
Okay, so you're going with Indi Hartwell becoming the new TNA Knockouts world champion. All right, fair enough. Walter, let's look at it like this. If Kelani Jordan loses, what direction does she go? Is it basically like she's going to go out to the main roster? Lord knows the main roster needs more women talent for the world championships. But it's also one of those things where she is the inaugural Women's North American champion, and this is a next step up. It is a world championship, not the NXT Women's Championship, but it is the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Indi Hartwell, we look at, again, story, Danny Luna is looming. Does she cause the opportunity, or does she wait for her to get the title and maybe capitalize, take the title from her? So there's a lot of cause and effect on both sides here. So, Walter, what do you think? Again, dealing with the dog, probably.
I think Kalani winning in the first place was in case of emergency break glass when Ash let management know in the morning, hey, I got this going on and I had to relinquish the title and they had to rearrange the show. And I think Indi was made to get this title all along, and they didn't want Lei Ling Ying to win it because they don't want an in-house talent to win it and immediately give up the title. So I feel like they went with an NXT talent to be able to lose the title quickly and have a quick run, because it was the shock of, hey, an NXT person won the title, and now they can give it to who they really wanted to give it to. So it was like an in case of emergency break glass thing. So I feel like we're going to get a new champ, because I feel like Indi was all along going to be the champ. And they just had to pivot because of Ash's injury on how to get it to her. So I'm going with a new champ.
All right. Well, I mean, you definitely gave me that food for thought there, because, yeah, I guess you're getting talking about baby versus babyface. This is still NXT versus TNA. I think, JJ, there's a reason why you look at that graphic, and that's the official graphic. You notice the little NXT right there, just a little bit of subtlety. I think that you all are on point here regarding Indi Hartwell being the chosen one, unlike Drew McIntyre, to become the TNA Knockouts World Champion and lead this generation of the Knockouts. I really do think they want to push her forward in that. I almost feel like it is course correct. Also for Indi Hartwell, who didn't get a chance to do that as NXT Women's Champion. So I agree with y'all. I do think Indi Hartwell is going to become the new TNA Knockouts World Champion. I don't think they're going to immediately push the Danny Luna agenda, but I do think that is going to be one of the bigger stories for Indi Hartwell to persevere through. I don't know if they're ready to put the title on Danny Luna by any means. If nothing else, I can see Jody Fred taking on Indi Hartwell one-on-one out of mutual respect, because Indi Hartwell might feel, Jody Fred, you first earned this, but you decide to give this to me because you believe that this should have been course corrected. And again, the title is back home. And I think that's what everyone wants to see at the end of the day. It's one of those things where I think we want to see the TNA title defended in-house with in-house TNA talent more than anything else. To get that, you got to get back in TNA, and Indi Hartwell is now fully fledged knockout. She wasn't even involved on Tuesday night, by the way. She's also coming in fresh as the daisy. I think this gives Kelani Jordan a chance to take a break as well. Maybe they want to give Kelani Jordan a break right now. She's just doing this for a friend. So, yeah, I'm actually going with all of you. I think Indi Hartwell becomes the new TNA Knockouts World Champion. So, well said by you all. Okay. Well, again, this is going to be one of those matches that could be a very sleeper situation for the story and the moment. But Bound for Glory is all about those moments. Again, Masha Slamovich being her rival Jordan Graves last year was the big moment last year. So, just saying. Charles, I did see you a moment. You got something to say real quick before we move on?
I was going to say, too, Emmanuel's point about the heel side. It's kind of be the same question if Indi wins the belt. It'll be the same problem. It's like they're kind of in a situation where either way, there's not a lot of only two.
No, my defense is that Kelani doesn't have it. Indi already has Luna to deal with, that she has the storyline prepared, while Kelani doesn't if she retains it. That's why I'm at.
Yeah, that's fair, but I also look at the TNA Knockouts division. You could have anybody come after Indi Hartwell. Let's not forget, Indi Hartwell was a victory over Rosemary. I'm sure Rosemary would love to get that top that she hasn't had since 2017. I talked about Killer Kelly earlier. Killer Kelly has never been TNA Knockouts World Champion. Be a very unique test for Indi Hartwell to face for the first time ever. Tasha Steelz, Alicia Edwards. You talk about babyface versus heels. The system is trying to prove a point. But at the end of the day, Alicia Edwards has never been TNA Knockouts World Champion either, and she's long a tenured knockout, honestly, across the entire Knockouts division right now. So there is more depth to the Knockouts division from the hunger and heel standpoint, actually, than there is in NXT. So there you go, especially concerning the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Just some thought per se. I did see JJ next, so we're going to JJ. Then I'll go to you, then Emmanuel. JJ, what do you got to say real quick?
I just wanted to touch on the fact that you brought up the fact that Indi Hartwell is still the House of Glory champion, which she is. Mm-hmm. She defends her title tomorrow night against former WWE ID talent, Real Deal Zeta Steel. To my knowledge, there's no real feud going on there between the two of them. However, Santana dropped the House of Glory World title a few months ago before he entered this major push that will hopefully lead to him winning the title at Bound for Glory. And we'll get to that match momentarily.
Yep.
If Indi is going to become Knockouts champion, it'll be interesting to see if they make her drop the House of Glory Women's title.
And that's fair, because it would prove that she's 100% dedicated to TNA wrestling. That's absolutely fair. Tilla, what you got to say real quick? We're going down to our hat trick. Honestly, this card feels like it has 4 main events. That's a really unique first when you think about it. Tilla, what you got to say real quick before I move into the tables match?
Well, just 2 things. Back to your point as to how everything got screwed up because of Ash.
Yeah.
You know, Ash meeting Agent. I also think because of Masha too, and the whole situation that happened.
Oh man, I didn't even figure about Masha.
Yeah, so I feel like that also added into why we're at where we're at. But also too, I think at the end of the day, no matter what, Tasha Steelz is gonna be Knockout champion when Order 4 starts to collect all the belts. So I guess it doesn't matter if Kelani Jordan or Indi wins, because at the end of the day, I think Tasha Steelz will be Knockout champion when Order 4 starts to collect all the gold. Just like the system. Lord.
It's a freaking evolution all over again. And to be fair, Tasha Steelz does own a victory over the greatest, Mickie James, to win her only ever TNA Knockouts World Championship. So again, she's not wrong.
What was her nickname? The greatest that beat the greatest?
Exactly. All right. With that being said, great talk regarding the women's division and the cornerstone of women's wrestling here in the States, the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Now, talking about legacy, history, who's forged for Bound for Glory, who's about to be playing through one final table. JJ, you kick things off. I've talked enough, so I'm going to let you set the story here, because Lord knows we know enough about these two teams and the weapon that will be this legendary rivalry's undoing. The final encounter, one final table. The Hardys, the TNA and NXT Tag Team Champions, defend both sets of gold against the TNA Hall of Famers, the Dudley Boys. You see that right. Bully Ray, and somehow back is in good enough shape, Devon Dudley. A very passionate face-to-face with a lot of intense emotion, knowing what this means for both teams, as we saw tonight on Impact Wrestling, and how important this table will mean to both their careers versus any table ever before in their illustrious careers. You can go all the way back to when a first table, a first chair, a first-time tag team encounter was made. Which team truly made the other? Which team surpassed the other? It's 1A, it's 1B. Who's to say? Bottom line, though, folks, this is the Dudleys and the Hardys for the final time with one final table. JJ, let's go ahead and talk about this history coming to its finality. Who do you have leaving both TNA and NXT Tag Team Champions between the Hardys and the Dudleys?
Well, you say this is the one final, and I say, or is it? See, when this match was first made, I think everybody figured the Dudleys would lose, the Hardys would retain, and it would just be easy peasy lemon squeeze. But then Tuesday night happened, and the Hardys became NXT Tag Team Champions.
Correct.
A tag team championship that the Dudleys have never held. Team 3D's been TNA tag champions. They've been WWF, WWE, Raw, SmackDown, however you want to count them. TNA, WCW, ECW.
Keep going.
IWGP, I believe, as well. Ring of Honor, I believe, as well. I'm not 100%, don't watch me. But basically, if there's been a tag team championship in a company, the Dudleys have held it. But they've never held the NXT tag.
No.
Now, going back to what I mentioned a moment ago about Indi Hartwell. The Dudleys, or excuse me, not the Dudleys, that one you can't watch. The Hardys are walking into House of Glory tomorrow and challenging the House of Glory Tag Team Champions, the main event for the House of Glory Tag Team Championship.
What?
The Hardys very easily could be walking into this match with 3 championships. It is not so set in stone for me anymore that the Dudleys are losing. Gun to my head, Las Vegas bookie, who am I putting money on? I'm putting money on the Hardys. And when I submit my form, that will probably be my official pick. I just say, don't be surprised if we get a Dudley Boys victory here. And the Hardys hand the Dudleys championships they've never had. Because at the end of the day, Halloween Havoc is at the end of the month.
Yes.
And the Dudleys can have one final match in NXT, technically the WWE, and put over some young teams.
Okay.
It would be a hot potato. It would be a transitional championship reign. But the Dudleys would get a couple of week run with a championship they've never held before and put over some young team on the way out. Which, even though I think Devon only wants one more match, I could see Devon doing it.
Fair shout out. It's a
So
fair
don't be surprised, but my money is still on the Hardys to retain.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that being said, JJ has closed the book on these two teams that have been at war with each other one way or another since 1999, with the Hardys getting the better of the Dudleys for one final table. Why do I feel like this is not going to be a match with only one table involved? It just feels so like, I don't know, restricted. This is the Hardys and the Dudleys we're talking about. You're fucking kidding me? There is no way it's only going to be one table. No way. No way. That'd be crazy. I can't remember last time my tables match only had one table involved in it. All right. With that being said, he's got the Hardys. So now it's open up to y'all on the floor. I almost wonder, again, with JJ setting up that precipice, does anyone really got a different prediction with that reminder in mind. Walter, of course, hive minds with JJ, so I'll go to him next real quick here just to see if he did take anything or if he wants to add anything, because you're talking about Dudleys and Hardys. Freaking Rage and Renegade might as well be their own damn tag team without titles when it comes to their booking. So go ahead, Walter, and give your thoughts towards this.
But I wouldn't mind the route JJ's talking about. I just don't think Devon's got it in him anymore after that neck fusion. I think he's just doing this as a specialty, and then he's really, really done. Like I don't think he's got 2 matches left in him. You talked about that you doubt there's going to be one table. I doubt table's going to be the only weapon. Regardless, table is match is only a table match in name. It's going to be. The LC is going to be involved either, just without the names. There's going to be some ladders and there's going to be some chairs. When there's Hardys and when there's Dudleys, all 3 of those weapons are going to be involved. But I see the Hardy Boys retaining.
Okay, fair enough. Well, ironically enough, Charles, January 2000 was the first time we saw a tables type match involve these 2 teams, strictly just these 2. It was a tables elimination type match. So again, that's how far Wood has basically been connected with the Dudleys and the Hardys in the same sentence. So Charles, what do you think?
One, yeah, I agree with Walter's point. And besides, Devon has said if he were to come out of retirement, it would only be against the Hardys because he trusts them with him more than anybody.
Keyword trust.
So there you go. Despite the fact he did say, yeah, you're so good about waiting for the crazy shit. Which, to be fair, I do expect you have to jump off something high during this match. And it'd probably be either a ladder or, if it's crazy, depends on the build in the arena. They might recreate their finish they did in the tables match back in Rumble 2000. Holy freaking. No, you can't tell me I'm wrong, because I think JJ would agree, Emmanuel and everybody in here, that's probably going to be there's going to be historical recap moments in this match. Spots.
No lies detected. You're not wrong.
So literally. It speaks for itself. The Hardys are going to retain. But this match is just going to be a big old cluster F. The best way we know how.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people are looking towards a beautiful disaster involving 4 men broken through tables and chairs and ladders. Oh my!
Hey, to be fair, the Hardys were broken before.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying.
Fair enough. I can't put Moonlight Sonata in here. That's copyright. All right, fair enough. Well, that being said, I don't know if the Hardys want to delete the history that was the Dudleys, but I do think they want to, of course, prove that they are the best across all the known universes. And whether or not the Hardys do become broken in this, I don't think the Dudleys ever dealt with broken Brother Nero and broken Matt Hardy, which would be absolutely ridiculous. Although now I kind of want to see that happen. That being said, Amanda, let's go to you next. What you got to say regarding this tables match?
I just wish Adam Copeland and Christian Cage was in this match too. It would be a fun throwback. That's all I have to say. Like, we know the Hardys is going to retain this, but I just think it just needed these 3 teams to be together one last time if they're going to hang it up. It's just true kiss, that chef kiss that needs to be done.
Yeah, fair enough. I do think, to Jada's point, it'd be interesting because we know Bully Ray, of course, coach in LFG, Legends contract, etc. But to see the Dudleys, though, continue one more time as a tag team even after this match, when we fought Devon, I think we're going to see Devon again after Impact 1000, Jada, if I'm being honest with you. So the fact we got one more match out of him is credit to Devon's trust and the importance of this legacy. I don't think Devon has anything to prove after this inside the ring. So I do think it is going to be that moment for the Hardys to close the book on this. So I do think the Hardys are going to retain them as well. What you guys say real quick before we get to our semi-main?
That the Hardys are going to retain?
I suppose that. All right. Again, she's tired. Again, with this sleep. I'm learning what napping is, more just sleeping. But again, I respect that. All right, well, moving on. Keep it short, sweet, and simple as we do sometimes here. All right, well, that being said, the Hardys for the win unanimously, but to the Dudleys, thank you. All right, let's move into our semi-main. There's a reason I made semi-main, because when this match was announced, this man literally broke his larynx, got caught on Geekbox, and I'm pretty sure he's going to call this his main event. So, Walter, guess what? Time for you to bounce off on this one. You're going first. Let's talk about the cornerstone of TNA since 2002, held by the phenomenal AJ Styles in another TNA versus NXT match. It is Bouncy Javon Evans, the young OG, versus the youngest in charge, Leon Slater, for the X Division Championship. All I gotta say is let's fucking go. How high are these two gonna bounce off each other in the ropes? I cannot wait for this shit. Top this shit. This is my match of the night, bar none. Let's keep in mind here, folks, in NXT Showdown, Leon Slater pinned his challenger and eliminated him. And that's all I'm gonna tell you besides that. Walter, it's on you. You're first in the TNA Division Championship. Do you have a new champion who bounces towards success with the cornerstone of the division about no limits?
This is going to steal match of the night, 100% for sure. And I'm going to be interested to see where they place this match. I've been hounded for this match since the crossover. I got super excited. And usually, when someone gets over on a go home, then it's telling of what's going to happen. But because that was NXT, it really was its whole separate entity. It was all about brand pride in a Survivor Series type match. So
yep,
I'm thinking that we're going to get a retention. I don't need any more NXT stars having the damn TNA titles, please. So I think Leon Evans, he's Leon Evans. I just combined their names. Holy shit. Leon Slater is going to beat Javon Evans and retain. He's going to bounce him right back to NXT and get him out of TNA. But I'm honestly, it's going to be hard to keep up with this match. Good luck on you. I hope you rest your voice. I hope you drink a lot of water, because you ain't going to be able to shut up, because it's going to be one move after another. They're going to be high flying. There's going to be no breaks in this match. Blink and you'll miss it type match, and I can't wait.
Legitimately, I'm scared of what person jumps off the thing the highest. You just freaking fusion them like freaking Goku and Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. That was ridiculous. All right. That being said, he's got Leon Slater retaining. Okay. Well, let's see how you all rebound off that. Because we're at the tail end of the night here, and I know we've been going into virtually overtime and the longest predicting ever. God bless you all. Does anyone actually have a disagreement towards that prediction, or an actual added thought to add to this? We have Leon Slater retaining. Charles, I saw your hand. What you gotta say real quick?
One, because Walt has said that name, now I kind of want Leon Slater and Javon to be a tag team. Just because of the matches alone they could have.
What sort of tag team is combined by their names?
Bouncy OG.
That too.
That actually will work. Continue.
Just because I just want to see the matches with that. But literally, I still agree with Leon's retaining.
Did you really just ask what tag teams are made by combining their names?
Well, it's fascinating.
Have you ever heard of Jericho? Miz?
Okay.
What else?
Miz and Morrison?
Okay.
True.
So Miz is the only one that's done that. Got it. Thank you, JJ. All right. It's pretty easy to combine a 3-letter name. Okay.
So it would be surprising. Just saying.
You know,
Javon Slater for the win here.
Fuck me.
Yeah,
you know, this is one of those matches that speaks for itself, considering the match is going to have no limits on how high these two are going to bounce off each other and freaking try and knock each other's heads off and stun Dom Millionaire slingshot takeover tornado craziness that I just called. And who knows what TNA throwbacks Leon Slater and Javon Evans might use towards each other.
And for the record, Leon Slater does have tag team history. He's half of the team called Boisterous Behavior with the man like Therese.
That's correct. Yep. And let's not forget also talk about House of Glory. Amazing Red. Leon Slater defending the X-Division Championship against Amazing Red. Just saying. That's today, by the way, folks.
Tomorrow for us West Coasters, but yes.
Yeah, well, again, East Coast, West Coast. It's weird that I'm on
Let's
the
just
West
call
side.
it Friday for technicality's sake.
Yeah, good enough. Emmanuel, what you guys say? By the way, I also do agree. Leon Slater's retaining because this guy's fucking amazing. He's going to hold this for a long damn time. You don't get endorsed by the inaugural champ phenomenal AJ Styles and lose this title in less than freaking 2 months. Go ahead, man. What you got to say?
I was about to say to Charles, I thought you were going to put it in manual card saying some shenanigans, some wild prediction that I usually do.
Don't worry, Emmanuel. It may happen.
And by the way, we still have our main event, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more to talk about with then. Tula will start that off, but that's all I got to say towards that. But speaking of which, it's unanimous so far. Leon Slater, I'm just wondering, what's the first moment that's going to make me jump out of my chair and go, Don West, you got to be freaking joking. Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be saying that at least 3 times during this match alone. Again, Myron Reed, damn, they take Leon Slater to the limit at Victory Road. That was fucking incredible. And that was the main event, by the way. Tatilla, close this one out. What do you got to say regarding this X-Division Championship match? We're going to be bouncing all over the place.
But Leon Slater's retaining. He didn't beat Moose and didn't get acknowledged by AJ Styles to lose the X-Division title so quickly. He didn't make history as the youngest X-Division champion of all time to drop the title that quickly. So I'm going with Leon Slater to retain.
So there you go. Simple as that. Now it's just a matter of, again, how much these two bounce, rebound, and how much do we jump out of our seats for what these two are going to do. This might be the most insane X Division Championship match ever in X Division history. That's the high potential I put these two one-on-one.
More insane than the triple threat match between Daniels, Styles, and Joe?
It very much could, JJ, because the way I look at it is this. Both these two are so damn incredibly young, agile, high flyers. A division about no limits truly shows that you have no regard for your own well-being. There's no risk too great you're not willing to take. And right now, Javon and Leon have been literally surprising the entire world with what they're capable of, and they weren't stock names before. Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe had some cred before this. These two, this could be the match of their careers that they'll never top, honestly.
I wanted to see them together in an Ultimate X match.
Oh, dear God. Leon Slater already jumped off the structure. I don't want to see Javon Evans and Leon Slater on the top of the structure do something crazy, Walter. I'm just saying.
I do.
Stop it. You're trying to kill these two. You're going to bring Elevation X back after this point. Stop it. You're going way too far. All right. With that being said, we have a lot of talk, a lot of discussion, some rage, some rants, some botching, but that's the way it goes. That's the predicting. But it all comes down to this. It all comes down to what Walter's hoping is his moment of the weekend. Until I kick things off, let's go ahead and talk about our main event where we pray to God, do we finally whoop that trick and see a man brought back from his demons, brought back home, endorsed by Koenig, who brought him in the first place in LAX, as we saw some words of wisdom shared on Impact Wrestling tonight, become truly the standard and the face of TNA Wrestling on his home turf. Let's talk about Trick Williams versus Mike Santana for the TNA World Championship. Mike Santana, of course, who earned this opportunity, raised to the Director of Authority, Santina Marella, who says you will now take him on one-on-one after Trick Williams lazied his way at Slammiversary to hold on to the title in Triple Threat, where, of course, Trick Williams was able to abscond with the championship. Has been holding the TNA World Championship hostage since stealing it from Joe Hendry at Battleground and making a mockery of it at the expense of TNA Wrestling. Of course, with some defenses, though, against the likes of Moose during his short run, TNA has truly been Trick NA, and Trick Williams believes he's bigger than both TNA and NXT combined after leaving Ricky Saints high and dry because he was running away from freaking Mike Santana. That being said, let's go ahead and see if this is truly the moment you believe that will be what we leave with at Bound for Glory. The name itself is Mike Santana, finally bound for glory. And does he claim it? Until you kick things off, do you have a brand new TNA World Champion?
Before I enter, I just want to say, I think that Trick Williams has done a phenomenal job being TNA World Champion. I think that he certainly needed this character change, especially after the split with Mello. I really think that he's come onto his own as a heel and as TNA World Champion. So I'm very curious to see what would happen after he loses the title, because I do think Mike Santana is going to get his crowning moment here at Bound for Glory.
All right, fair enough. Well, it's one of those things where, again, you have an obnoxious asshole that literally holds the company hostage, make a mockery of holding the title upside down that pisses me off and freaking makes Tom Hannigan have a conniption fit. Yeah, it proves its value when you have the ultimate babyface that literally shot the first bullet on sight in NXT. That being said, Dattila has said Mike Santana fulfills his path at Bound for Glory. And I know that she's getting ready to power it down. So again, folks, follow Reigns of Wrestling, Dattila. I'll see you later. Take care. Thank you for tuning in, my friend.
Catch you later, alligators.
After a while, crocodile. Walter, you freaking called for this to be Mike Santana's big moment. Now it's finally one-on-one. So do you still believe in that? Go ahead. You're next.
Of course, I think he didn't get the moment in New York, so he's going to get it here. I think we're going to spin the block, get a $180, and I think he is going to whoop that Trick. I think Santana finally gets his moment. He gets his crowning achievement, and Trick, I don't know what the next step for him is, but it damn sure ain't going to be in TNA. Get your ass back to the back of the line in NXT or main roster, whatever the hell you're going to do. But, I mean, me and JJ talk about it. I still don't feel like he's ready for the main roster. He needs to work on a little few more things.
Agreed.
So I think he could go back to NXT, work on them things, put a few more people over, and then maybe next year he can be a main roster. Definitely think he'll probably be a Royal Rumble surprise, but yeah, it's Santana's time. It better be, or I'm gonna snap. I'm gonna really reach if Santana doesn't win.
I mean, you lost your shit when Lola Vice fell to beat Jessie J. We still don't know who assaulted her. So I'm going to imagine what you're going to do here when you actually call Mike Santana's shot to be his shot one-on-one. If it's not here, when and will it matter? That's really the kicker. So good luck, bruv. And if you have to dismiss, I know what you said. I absolutely understand and appreciate you. And I look forward to calling both those shows with you this weekend. Take care, my brother. All right, let's go from one hive mind to the other, from TNA to NXT once again, to a man that has supported the Whoop That Trick era more than Booker T to a degree. JJ, what do you think about this? Do you have a new TNA World Champion? Does the title come back home, as Mike Santana has been echoing, claiming, and basically been missioning on since Trick Williams ceased it? And he beat Joe Hendry, of course, one-on-one, which you got to respect, to prove that why he can't be not only the stand-up but the face of TNA. What do you got to say regarding this?
First of all, it brings tears to my eye to hear Dattila talk about my NXT as positively as she did.
That's a first. Don't get used to it.
And you, good sir, disgracing the name of the TNA World Champion. I have a question for you, good sir. When Kenny Omega was the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, how many episodes of Impact did he appear on, and how many pay-per-views did he defend the title on?
Well, let's see. He defended on Slammiversary. He appeared on Under Siege. He appeared on some episodes of Impact Wrestling. He also did show up at the title every time on AEW Dynamite, and also on Rampage.
Hey, we're not talking about Dynamite. I'm talking about TNA specifically, because I believe, and we may need a certain stat boy to do the research, but I believe the TNA World Champion has appeared on more TNA broadcasts than Kenny Omega did.
I would have to actually fact check that because when you look at both their runs, they're almost about the same length. Because Kenny Omega held it after beating Rich Swann at Rebellion. That was in April. And then he lost it, of course, to Christian Cage in August. So that would be 4 months. Battleground was back in, I think, May. So, yeah, a little bit of 4 months to change, close to, because it's not been quite 5 months yet. So, about the same.
But the TNA World Champion has done big things for the company. That being said, if Trick Williams wins, we ride.
Fuck yeah.
Gentlemen, have a good night. My ride is ready to take off, so I need to dip out as well. I'm glad I was able to be here for at least some part of it. Good night.
Yeah. Good night, JJ. Always welcome. Always a pleasure. Thank you again for being part of episode 150. As we finally get ready to wind down here and start with the original free, Frank Christ Almighty. Jesus, did that go for longer than expected with you all yahoos and your extra talk and throwing me off and all the botching galore. But that's the thing in a nutshell. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing out. Emmanuel, Trick Williams, Mike Santana, Odele, do you have a new champion for TNA?
Yes, I do. But quick notes, no. Who attacked low by Lady Lane? Like they have backstage pocket for Jessie Jane, and she said that Jasmine's neck was never strong enough or good enough for Fatal Influence. That's who attacked the Bice. According to Chat GPT, Noah confirmed appearances matches from Kenny Omega, December 8, 2020, on an episode of Impact. Hard to Kill 2021, and Rebellion 2021, Title Business title. And that's about it. And the rest were either backstage segment promos or guest spots. But that's about it. That doesn't really give you more dates. So JJ might be right. Like Trick Williams made more appearances than Kenny Omega on TNA.
Fair enough. I'll give him that then.
But yeah, it's time. It's I feel like this is the year of the trend. Cody Rhodes finally gets the title, and they all celebrate. Adam for AEW celebrating taking the title away from the Death Riders. And now TNA is going to have the same moment, celebrating that they both got their titles back, and that was the storyline we're getting. They lost their women's title, which they can get it back, and now they could get their men's title, which they could get back that night. So they're going to be celebrating that they got the better of NXT holding the titles way high to end the night.
Fair enough. And I was just thinking about that too, because of course we called for a new TNA Knockouts World Championship and basically called the TNA World Championship coming back home. Basically, TNA beats NXT, and maybe it justifies this partnership being on equal ground. Because the jury is still out as far as I'm concerned, because I still think WWE is the most selfish thing on the planet. All right, well, fair enough, Emmanuel. Thank you for that. That being said, Charles, you close things out because I'm going to keep it simply put. You know I'm TNA faithful, damn it. If my stand don't win, JJ put it better than I could. We riot and also fuck everything. So that being said, Charles, go ahead and close this thing out. The Strip Winners retained was my stand up finally bring the gold home.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I feel like we've been here before. For one simple reason. Didn't we almost say the exact same thing when Joe Hendry challenged for the belt at this very event? And look what happened that night. They delayed his title run for a good amount more months.
Yes.
I cannot trust TNA for the life of me here. Look how Manuel is just shaking his head.
for once, Emmanuel says that don't do it.
I really see this pattern. I do. Because literally, Joe Hendry failed to get the belt at Slammiversary. Mike Santana failed to get the belt, funny enough, at the same event.
God, the only difference is right now WWE is probably controlling more of the booking than originally last year at Bound for Glory. When it was
Dude, it's still TNA. We're still dumb enough not to give Joe Hendry the belt at Bound for Glory. To be fair,
they did give it to him at Genesis, though, and you almost sound like the Genesis next year might be the full-fledged NXT crossover acquisition. It sounds like. You think Mike Santana doesn't get it until January?
I would not be surprised if it was a TNA decision and a WWE decision.
Oh, Jesus.
I want to be wrong, but with the pattern here, I just can't. I can't unsee it.
Well, I trust that. I hope for once in my life.
I want to be wrong. I want to, but I just the pattern, the damn pattern, it's just right there.
Patterns
and TNA doesn't give, the something that's over at Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory is sometimes not the crowning moment. The event in January is more crowning moment than Bound for Glory itself.
I mean, you're not wrong. Again, it took till Genesis, but I really do hope that Bound for Glory is a new, brighter beginning for TNA wrestling, reminding me what you've been the alternative and not becoming a WWE similarity. So, that being said, Charles, good luck to you. I pray you're wrong. And
I want to be wrong. It's
fair. I respect your convictions because sometimes when you've been
it's just there.
When you've been conditioned to expect the same thing over and over and over again, it's hard to bet against it. But Arlene closing out saying, Mike Santana should win just because I want to be different. Do you have an Amazon? Of course, you had to be different. And she's not even involved.
At least I was crazy enough to go almost pull an Emmanuel card, but my reason is a lot different because of the pattern I kept seeing with the Joe Hendry thing.
By the way, speaking of NXT, Arlene is no longer the leader. Brandon R. is followed by Ashley and Christopher Rotz. Arlene is in third place. So, by the way, Arlene, you got to catch up now. You have finally been taken off your pedestal. That being said, all right, but I respect that, Charles. That being said, the only one for the trick to be tricked and not get a treat is Charles Schultz. Hopefully we get the treat, though. Might Sam become a new champion, or hopefully we get
I want that.
Ring.
You know what? God.
If Mike Santana loses, let's just go ahead and just throw the beer bottles at the freaking ring here and just prove our point that WWE's trying to take over TNA and they don't give a shit about it.
At that point, it more be just not WWE. That'd be more TNA creative being that dumb. It's like you could capitalize. You pulled the same mistake with Joe Hendry all over again.
I mean, about to say, when was the last time creative was not dumb? I'm just saying. All right, well, that being said, that concludes everything, believe it or not, for TNA Bound for Glory. So, in conclusion, folks, what do you think happens? Who shows the call shot gauntlet? Who you think called their shot? Do they call their shot the same night? Who you have leaving with one final table through their back, leaving with all the gold? Do you see both the TNA World and the TNA Knockouts World Championships coming home? Who bounces towards the future and live forever as the X Division champion? And does Gia Miller actually fuck up Tessa Blanchard? That and so much more here at Bound for Glory. We'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below or in the chat as we conclude. As again, this has been both for Bound for Glory and WWE Crown Jewel. Both shows will be covered this weekend. The forums will be available across my social media platforms. In the comment section down below, some before Friday. Crown Jewel is due officially 7 a.m. That is a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday morning. Bound for Glory is due 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. And we will be covering both of these shows. I have no idea if I'm covering Crown Jewel live. We'll make that official some point tomorrow. I'll have a note in my community tab. But that is it for everything here for TNA Bound for Glory. And that is truly it now in the longest edition in this milestone here that has become for 150 episodes. Cheers to all of you making it possible. Simply Predicting. Thank you all so much for tuning in and continued support. Hope to see you again along the ride for the next 150 times. Cheers to you all. Let's enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. Let's go ahead and get the fuck out here and do our plugs. First and foremost, Emmanuel, thank you once again. Good luck in both leagues. You are a participant in both leagues. I see you have something to share, so go ahead and tell other people can find you and go ahead and promote your stuff too.
Yeah, you can follow my new channel, Interesting Games and Movies. I'll be trying to download more games and review movies, see movies, and tell you what you think about it. Like, if you want to subscribe, go ahead. That would be much appreciated. It's something to do while I'm at home, not doing anything. Better than not doing anything, do something. So I gotta do that from now on. Now you could do the regular one if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's always good to do something with your time versus just sleeping. So thank you for that. Something! And there's the original plug.
Yeah, the original plug says, follow me at Emmanuel Dominguez at Facebook, EDM7324 at Instagram. You can follow my nerdy, but nursing saving lives right now, Arlene Dominguez at Facebook, ADM7224 at X, and Arlene Dominguez on Instagram.
Now, there you go. Thank you so much. Again, they had the bounce, but just for one time, JJ, here you go. Follow the Renegade Wrestling JJ Williams, Cassie Studios, ROWJJ Williams on the X, and Cassie Studio on the X. Again, appreciate the Renegade Wrestling always. Of course, I'll be back moderating the weekly moderated Conversation Wrestling Madness. There's the Saturday Shenanigans. This coming Saturday night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll talk about Crown Jewel and so much more and give our final thoughts towards Bound for Glory. The two of us here earlier, follow her when it's wrestling time at Raiders of Wrestling. Go check out me and her review NXT Showdown. And again, you want more Power Rangers content, you more TNA reviews and content in your life, follow our Mighty Morphin Pink Power Ranger, Dattila, at Rangers of Wrestling right here on YouTube. You saw Walter Cruz as Avatar Man all night. As Cindy Roberts will tell you, subscribe to Rage Wrestling Today. Let's get that man to 300 subscribers. Get it, got it, bueno, for the cost of his liver. Keep supporting the Rage Wrestling Today as we level up with Super Reliable Gaming again, coming soon as always, and so much more. And of course, he and I will be on the call for both these shows and pay-per-views this weekend. Papa Gino and I will be back next week with a predictions post-mortem, of course, and I will be back on the Noti Q review as well. He is the moderator. Follow Papa Gino today. Congrats to 800 subscribers. We'll be closing the coffin on W Crown Jewel predictions Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She wasn't here, but subscribe to our Canadian friend, Ash, as we see if Zack Jr. will still be IWGP World Heavyweight Champion come Monday morning and we at Goku Sumo Hall at King of Pro Wrestling. He defends that title against Kanosuke Takeshita, the Alpha, the winner of the G1 Climax. Will she rage? Will she be happy? Will the Bloody Tiger still prevail? Will this dickhead be put in his place? Find out this coming Monday morning at King of Pro Wrestling. That is subject to be covered by me. It depends on my mood, and it depends if I'm still awake, and it depends if I still have a voice after Bound for Glory. And speaking of me, you can follow me if you choose, and then follow to 916 for all things wrestling. Shout out to the HW fam. Of course, you can find me on YouTube and on the X, moderating and booking these prediction leagues and tracking them. You can find me at Asuka Studios and now Noti Q on the review right here on YouTube. And coming very soon to my Simple YouTube channel, not only another HW view, but another episode of the Simple Session. Episode 3 will be with Mr. Reliable himself, Walter Cruz. And that's all I got to say for now regarding everything that I do and everything that's ahead and every way that you can connect with all of us too. But as always, like to conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters, just fans and friendly experiences we all share. Speaking of which, why he's the simplest plug, segue. Charles, where can the people connect and find you?
I was going to say, and also you forgot about a founding father too, to be fair. On that one,
I haven't, because I always save him for last because, of course, he has far more than a plug. He has a channel relaunching. But please go ahead and plug your stuff.
Of course. You can also find me on Twitter as well under Brainwork. To talk Randall. Randall, and you can probably find me pop on there for the gaming sessions, or once in a while, if it was an MLW show, I might pop along there too for commentary. And also, the best thing to know, believe in Chase U.
No.
Always believe.
No, never believe in an unaccredited university. Go get some real higher education like the virtuals of the Emperors at Southern New Hampshire University. Shout out to anybody, by the way, that pursues higher education. Make a better future for you and your families. And as always, I like to always say, treasure your families, protect your mentality too, and enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It is truly as simple as that. And shout out to Jeff Mother and Meetum, as you did point out, as of course he is relaunching his YouTube channel and his network, the Jeff Meetum Network. Subscribe today on YouTube. It relaunches January 4th, the same day as Wrestle Kingdom 20 next year in 2026. Appreciate the man that has encouraged me and has been a great friend in pro wrestling, then, now, forever, always, and probably the biggest Mouseketeer Disney fan that you will ever know in and out of the Simply Reliable Studios. With that being said, that's all I gotta say for now as we bid you all fine to do. So thank you once again for tuning into another edition, the longest edition I think to date. Nice job, everybody, on episode 150 of Simply Predicting, as you all make it possible always. And it's truly about wrestling and all of you, and I thank you. So please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, hit the bells, videos live on demand on the Simply YouTube channel and the channel here, the Simply Reliable Studios, and hit the subscribe button. I assure you, the predictions, the creativity, the content, the discussions, the madness, it's not letting up anytime soon. But I think that's all I gotta say for now. As of course, on the West Coast, it's not quite Friday. You will be there soon enough. But here on the East Coast, it is Friday. So with this Friday, just take it easy. Enjoy Australia SmackDown time if you choose. Enjoy it when you can. Keep up with NoDQ on live recaps and results regarding SmackDown and so much more, including everything this weekend. And again, stick to predictions forms. They'll be out literally some point in the morning in the comment section down below, on my community tab, or on my X account as well. Again, Crown Jewel will be due 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday morning. That is Saturday, October the 11th. And of course, TNA Bound for Glory will be due 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday evening. That is Sunday, October the 12th, my little brother's 28th birthday. So please stay tuned. If you're part of both leagues, don't miss your opportunity for these points because we are at the tail end of both predictions leagues. After Crown Jewel, there's only one event left, Survivor Series. And after Bound for Glory, there are only two events left, Turning Point and Fire Resolution, as we'll see who take the leads for 2025 in WWE and TNA. So again, thank you all for tuning in. Keep up the great work. Keep up predictions. Keep up enjoying life and enjoying wrestling. But until next time, whether you watch both or one or the other, Crown Jewel and Bound for Glory, we'll see you on the other side. So for Walter Cruz, for Datilla, for JJ, for all of you, for Mayo Dominguez, for Arlene Dominguez, for Charles Schultz, and all of you in the chat that continue to support and make this possible with your voice and with your following, with your engagement. I thank you all once again. Happy 150, folks. We did it. Here's to another 150. May wrestling never stop, and we never stop simply predicting. Make a positive patch in life, and have a good night, and enjoy the weekend for WWE Crown Jewel and TNA Bound for Glory. Have a good night, folks, and we'll see you next time here at the Simply Reliable Studios for another rousing edition of Simply Predicting Anything But. Thank you all once again. Good God almighty, I'm bloody insane for freaking doing this as long as I've had 7 years. Far too long. I didn't think I'd be doing this for even to begin with. But I guess the rest is history. Ugh.
Well, it was episode 150. Of course, it goes over time. In the South.
I'm about to say, yeah, literally 150. I don't know how the hell I've done this for as
But
long.
when we get to 200, that'll be more longer.
And look, if this thing ever hits 4 hours, I quit YouTube because you all take this way too seriously, way too far out portion.
No, you enjoy it. Shut up. You enjoy it.
No. The only thing that's worth enjoying 4 hours is an AEW pay-per-view. And we'll be talking about that next week, Thursday night, for Wrestle Dream, all right? And as always, why the fuck not? Let's go ahead and say the one last trope. Fuck Chase you, but as always, believe in Joe Hendry.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
All right, I'm hitting the button. Good night, everybody.
It'd be something if he wins.
Something! Damn it!